just a little
big movie star. You know, you gotta show us how you do it. No one else can do that. We don't.
No, no one else has
No one else has the history with it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, welcome back to the Have You Seen a Podcast?
Are we live?
No, we're never live. I don't think we've been live.
We are
once.
live.
We are
here.
live here.
Yeah.
I guess we're living. In 2019,
Barely, yeah.
we made it. Right?
Yes,
barely.
New year, new me, hashtag.
Oh, God, I can't wait for those. What is going to be the new you, Cash?
The new me?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's going to be basically the same piece of shit.
Yep.
Just new year.
You're singing?
Yeah.
Just with a bigger beard.
Just a
right?
bigger beard, yeah.
Yeah, I like how I started to try to grow my beard out, and you go, hey, Mace, let me one-up you in a half.
Yeah, you've been
And
growing
then
that out for
you shaved yesterday,
6 months
right?
now? Yeah, and I shaved yesterday.
Right,
But
yeah.
Yeah, but
And
yours
this has
looks
been-
almost fuller, though.
Well, that's because I keep trimming it, and then it keeps growing, but it's like...
See, that's smart. Mine is
You're looking a little patchy.
Mine's all natural, besides I shave the neck.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
You have to shave the neck.
Of course.
You gotta shave
Yeah.
the neck.
Otherwise, it just looks gross.
I'm not a
Well,
fucking
you're always,
animal.
You're all trimmed up. You always looking nice, man. You always looking fresh.
I just want to look good.
I really do appreciate that because I am just too goddamn lazy to care. And I wish I had more like ambition to look good or like dress well, but
That's why we do podcasts. You
I,
can be the biggest piece of shit and do a podcast,
do a podcast,
and
yeah.
no one, as long as your voice
Arguably
is
your-
somewhat audible, no one's gonna. give a
arguably,
shit.
your
No one
podcast
cares,
is
right?
better if you're a piece of shit, right? No one
Oh,
wants like
yeah.
a nice guy to talk about nice guy things on a podcast.
No, exactly.
Have you seen like?
especially comedians?
Have you
too.
seen
A lot of
like
comedians
disc
have-
jockeys, like DJs, like radio personalities?
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah.
hideous. They
Yeah,
have great
terrible.
voices, but they're just giant pieces of crap. I mean,
I don't think there's ever been a real good looking. I mean, even like Ron or Howard Stern, like
Well, he just covered it in
Howard
Hair and
Stern
sunglasses.
Is, Howard
yeah,
is.
that's true. That's very true.
You can't really see his face in general.
Yeah.
So you don't know. He's just a persona. He's a facade.
So here on the new year, obviously it's 2019, yada yada, January 1st, but we're starting this whole new year, new me thing. So you see where I'm trying to segue into this, right?
Yeah, I do. And then what a perfect year. What a perfect way to start off the new year.
Thank you.
Than to review a 10-year-old movie.
Exactly.
That's
It's on the money, 10 years old.
Everyone's been begging us to review. I mean,
Is it really 10 years old?
it
Came out in 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I can swear,
What
right?
a hot movie.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can drop whatever you want, whatever you'd like.
Are you clowning on my video choice?
Huh?
Are you clowning on my video choice?
No. Oh yeah, duh. He picked the movie this week.
I did pick
not
it.
at all. You want to know why I called him? Is because he's a science fiction. Like,
Well, I
he
was wondering why.
So you actually like the movie?
I didn't know you. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I've seen it before, but it's a long fucking movie. Like it is a lot of movie. But the movie is Mr. Nobody.
Nemo Nobody.
Nemo Nobody.
Yep.
And I will try to tell you the plot, but you can't really
It's in depth.
describe
It's
it.
a lot. It's a lot. He said we can do Peaky Blinders, so here we are with Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
It would have been a long one if we did Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, that would have been 4 seasons going on.
We've been in
5.
here
Yeah, it would have been a
14
while.
hours, yeah.
We were talking about Thomas Shelby quite a bit.
But the film tells the story of Nemo Nobody. That's a name.
Yes.
A 118-year-old man who is the last mortal on Earth after the human race has achieved quasi-immortality.
Which is just basically the regaining of infinite cells.
It's immortality.
For all you
yeah.
science fiction
Yeah.
people.
I don't have to explain science to you guys, but
don't.
come on.
Yeah.
Nemo memories fading refers to his 3 main loves and to his partner's divorce and subsequent hardships endured at 3 critical junctions in his life, age 9, 15, and 34. So basically, it's him living through all these different choices that he makes, right?
Right.
And he starts off an old man, and he is very old.
Well, and it was like this multi-universe thing where it kept jumping back into like the choices that he made, and each choice would lead to a different choice with a different woman, with a different consequence, even with like mom and dad and Harry and Anna and all
The
that.
whole movie is based around choice. That's
Right.
pretty much the whole thing, right?
Yeah, and it was I don't know, I kept watching it. I was uneasy the whole time watching it just because I was like, gosh, what all the
know.
choices
What
I've made. I'm
shitty
like,
choices did I
I'm like, where would I be in life had I made this choice? or
Maybe
that
I
choice?
could be
It
with
makes
a
you think
rich
that.
Asian wife and
I know.
2 beautiful Asian kids.
I'm down with that. I mean,
That was his
But you
worst
could
life.
have.
I know. Yeah, he was bored.
I'm living my worst life, and his worst life is fucking. I'll trade up
Way
any
better
day.
than mine.
Yeah,
He's yeah.
but yeah. So why did you pick this movie? Have you seen this movie before?
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't have picked a movie that I
that you never
just watched.
randomly,
like,
just rolling the dice.
I've never seen
We
this,
do that
but
all-
Mr. Nobody.
also, I was gonna say, also, if I hadn't seen it, where would I have found this?
Yeah.
Because actually, I stumbled upon it on Netflix.
Well, this is a movie that I always
8 months
see
ago.
on Netflix, where it's
Yeah.
like movies that you may like. It always shows, but it's
Always.
a movie that I never clicked on.
See, that's weird that both of you guys just saw this movie. I saw this movie like 6 years ago.
Yeah, no, it was
And I'd forgotten a little bit about it, and now I'm like, when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, I appreciated it so much more.
yeah, no, it was probably like within a year ago. Because
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It was just one of those ones that was on Netflix. You might like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally I watched it, and I was like, oh yeah, Jared Leto. Yeah, 30 Seconds to Mars. Cool. And then I watched it, and I was like, whoa, this is actually super in depth. And you know, I'm a big fan of just like the whole, you know, choices and like the whole string theory, like, you know, this leads to this and this leads to this and synchronicity and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, wasn't that cool when Leto, in one of his alternative lives, was actually one of those guys on TV kind of going through the whole time-space continuum and all that crap.
It was
Yeah,
definitely
which
a
was
way,
almost self-aware.
it was definitely a way to move the story along while
Yeah.
having him go through another life where he's
'Cause,
trying
yeah.
to explain all the. Because
that
this
one-
movie delves into everything. I mean,
Right, and that one was-
quantum physics, string theory, chaos theory.
Yep.
Just a ton of shit.
Right.
That
Now-
you really got to try to.
It was definitely well thought out.
comprehend.
Whoever wrote that really wins.
Yeah, that was a good one
All
to
lengths.
put together too, because that end where he drowned in the car had no significant meaning. It was just him meeting Anna, because Anna's she was a widow
Yeah.
because her husband died.
Yeah.
And then it was nothing. So it kind of worked out, being able to like pace the story along while also getting somewhere.
Yeah, and even though that it was a million different stories or whatever, or it was 3 different lives, 3 different wives, 3 different problems and everything. It's even though it changes a lot and it was kind of all over the place, I never felt lost during it or anything. I always knew what was going on, even though it was, and it changes rapidly, and it seems to not have any kind of system to when it changes. Or
No,
anything.
it doesn't.
was-
Well, the only thing I'd say on like the changes is when he made a choice.
Yeah.
That's it would change, but then it would like change so drastically it would go to a different person, different reality every time.
And it starts out with he's in the future, right? And it's the year 2092.
2092, yeah.
And it's Jared Leto, and he's in a ton of makeup, right?
Can we just talk about his performance too?
Can we talk about his laugh?
It's amazing. It was so
His
good.
laugh is dead on the Joker
It-
laugh.
What-
For sure, that's 100% where he got it from. It's a
He might have. Yeah, it is a very old
that
man
is
kind of
100% where he
Yeah.
got that laugh from.
That's true.
As soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's the Joker
that's the old
laugh.
man
for sure.
Joker.
Yeah, that's the old man Joker. But yeah, he did great in this.
Yeah, he
Jared
did.
Leto's he's always
he's
pretty good.
amazing.
He's not my favorite actor, but the movies he's in are always pretty.
Why is that? Because I find his characters always so fascinating.
Maybe he's just
Like,
not
I
my favorite
love-
person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe that's why. He's kind of pretentious, I think. But his movies are always good, except
think
for
he's-
I didn't like the Joker.
Yeah, out of all of them, that was my least favorite.
I feel like that was
My
most
least
people's
favorite.
consensus, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he
oh,
is
yeah,
a good
for sure,
actor.
yeah.
He,
Oh,
he's
he's a great actor,
definitely
yeah.
a good actor. But yeah, no, I feel like most people didn't like his portrayal of the Joker. I still didn't see Suicide Squad, so I don't
Well, and I
know.
feel like it was just
You're not
too.
missing out.
I don't know. It was just
That's
too
kinda
different.
what
So-
You're really not missing.
most
out,
people,
but,
yeah, most people were like, it's not worth it, and so I just never got around to it.
no.
But
Well, there's too much content out there these days. I'm struggling with that too in my queue on Netflix.
Sure.
I've already got like 50 movies in there.
did you watch Bandersnatch?
No, I haven't. You know, I
You
almost
haven't?
watched
I
it
did.
last night, and I was like,
Well, okay.
It's a movie you gotta sit
gonna say-
I know,
down
but
and
dude, I
watch.
got home and I went straight to bed. I was
Yeah,
like,
you
didn't-
didn't. We gotta be up for it.
You didn't not watch
I
it.
couldn't do that.
You just haven't got around to indulging. It's an experience.
it's the Black Mirror movie, right?
Yes, but you also have to like.
It's a choose
pick
your own
choices.
adventure story.
It's a fucking Goosebumps book, dude. It's a
Yeah.
Goosebumps book.
Hold on, you guys, how the fuck does that even work on Netflix? Doesn't make any sense.
You
It's like a
click.
video game. You click which way you
Well,
want
like
to go.
it'll give you 2 options, and then you take your mouse and you click which option he does, and so literally,
What if I have a TV? That's
then you use your remote.
Everyone has TVs.
You use your remote, but no,
That's a
there's
stupid thing
What do you
there's
mean?
like
What if you have a TV? We all have.
yeah, there's like
TVs.
8 endings. There's like 8 endings to this, so it's like Mr. Nobody except you choose.
Are you gonna do all 8
We went through all of them because it actually leads you into the other ones. Like it'll help you backtrack if you come to like an end too abruptly, or like it doesn't.
Wow.
It
Just
wants
like
you.
Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
It wants you to experience all of the Mr. Nobodies.
See, that's cool. Yeah,
So when you
that's
get to the end, it's like, what if you went back to this one and not to give anything away, but didn't chop your dad up?
Oh,
Like it's
okay.
it's.
Yeah.
But it's Black Mirror, so it's a mind fuck the
Right.
entire time.
Yeah.
It'll make you question, like, if you have free will. The whole thing is because you're controlling the character, and in the story, he starts realizing that he's being controlled by you.
It breaks the
Right.
fourth wall.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, by you, and then it gets crazy.
What?
Yeah, it's
Ooh, that sounds
it's in the
fun.
'80s, but it gets fucking like off the rails. But yeah, you get to choose like kill your dad and how you do it and stuff.
Yeah,
cool. Very nice.
it's like Mr. Nobody if you,
You get to watch.
picked
You
which
watch
Nemo.
all that unfold. Too.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, fantastic.
You're not making decisions the whole time. You'll make one, then you'll watch for like 15
Right.
minutes, and then you'll make no choice.
But they also did a really good job integrating the difference, like when you pick something versus picking something else. Like it's so smooth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's really good. Where it's no like
It doesn't
buffer
look
or
like it was.
anything,
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was cut in. Like, oh, if you pick this, then we have to shift over to this. Like it all was one fluid show with you just directing.
Yeah, it's super
Yeah.
seamless,
The boat.
and you only get a certain amount of time to make your decision, so you gotta do it fast. But it never pauses or stops. Or
So it's not
anything.
like the. Are you still watching?
No,
Be
no,
up
no.
for half an hour.
You get like 10 seconds.
But it utilizes that technology
And-
of being
Yeah, it
able to
does.
choose why.
Right? But also during those 10 seconds, it's still playing. Like it doesn't stop. Like if you like, for instance, there was one moment when the dad was like
the movie
talking to
doesn't
him.
stop.
The movie doesn't stop. So like
that's
you
legit.
like the one time you're like throw tea on the computer or yell at your dad are the choices, and the whole time the dad is still going, "Hey, I can't help you if you don't talk to me."
Wow.
Like it's still playing.
Yeah, so it's basically
Yeah.
a movie video game, a live action.
It's
video
real
game.
fucking good.
You know, the next step to that is VR on top of that.
Yeah.
Like a real system where like a bunch of sensors all over your body, being able to play
Like a
that
VR
character.
movie, and you're the character.
Ready Player One. We already reviewed it on this
Yes.
podcast, but y'all know
It's
what I'm
literally
talking
just
about.
a VR video game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, essentially, yeah.
But like
You're just
we're-
playing
I'm
the
just
character.
trying to reinvent the same thing. All right, I'm just trying to
Yeah, man,
reinvent the
you,
wheel.
you,
here.
you can't recapitalize on VR. It's already moved on.
Was Bandersnatch a
I'm
real
a little
book though?
No, I don't think so.
It was
no,
okay.
no.
That
I
was
don't
one of my
think so.
questions.
Yeah. No, I didn't look it up, but I don't think so because. Spoiler. Well, we won't tell you, but the Bandersnatch,
tell
the
me.
author or whatever, cuts off his wife's head or something. Isn't that?
Is
part of
that
it?
not unheard of? That people cut off
Yeah,
their wife's head?
but
That's happened.
I think we
just
would have
asked
heard
OJ.
about it. I think
You're right. I think we would have been
think
aware
we-
of this artist or this author.
Yeah, I think we would have definitely known about it. But it's a lot like Mr. Nobody, where it's all about choice and all that bullshit and what choice matters, and it's a mindfuck.
Yeah.
Just like Mr. Nobody was.
So we have Jean, Anna, and who's a crazy one? Elise, that's right.
Elise was the like severe depressive
Yes.
Oh,
bipolar one.
And let me tell you a problem I did have with this movie,
Yeah.
and actually was that the rich Asian character,
Right.
which I can't remember, what's her name?
Jean.
Jean?
Yeah.
It showed very little
Very.
to no aspects of their life. It was just kind of basically, oh, he's rich, so he's miserable.
It was because he had made that choice. The next girl that I'm going to dance with, I'm going to marry. So
Yeah,
that
there
alternative,
wasn't a whole lot of backstory
And so
anyway.
that kind of tells. I do agree with you. I would have much rather seen the relationship unfold.
Yeah, exactly. I would've
But I
liked-
think they were trying to tell us more than show us.
Yeah.
And me and you are more show. We like to see that relationship.
And I think it would have been a 3-hour long movie.
Yeah, it would have added another 25.
Yeah,
to-
but I
to
would have liked
find
to
that
see, because
relationship.
that whole marriage, the whole thing it was supposed to be loveless.
Right.
There's no love in it, right? It was just pure material, and it was, a good thing that this movie did was the use of color.
Yeah.
They used color in a very
Yeah.
interesting way where
Well, and each girl was a different color.
where
too.
the depressive girl, it was blue, but it wasn't like in your face where she was always wearing light blue. It would be the accents of the walls or everything.
Yep.
Except for the Asian chick, who she was always wearing yellow. It was
Yeah,
just
yellow all the
yellow
time, yep.
car, yellow house, and all that bullshit.
It was always sunny.
yeah, and everything. Like that. But I really like the use of color in it.
Yeah.
And it was
And that's funny that you brought that up because that was so subtle that watching that movie I realized, but it wasn't enough for me to like actually think about it until you brought it up, and then I was like, yeah, definitely.
and the Anna girl she was red
Mm-hmm.
for love, I guess, which that was obvious. That was the right choice, right?
Yep.
Anna was
Of course, yeah.
Anna was the one that was his sister, right?
Anna, Anna was, yeah.
You get some good old
whatever.
brother-sister loving in this movie.
Okay.
I felt
yeah.
bad for the kids though, because they're not really brothers.
No.
I know, and it was a shitty thing for the dad. To
It
be
was
like,
pretty shitty of him, because I was like, dude, come on.
He's like, this
they're
is
kids.
You
this
get
is
two-
immoral.
real.
You
You
can't do
bring two
this.
teenagers. I mean, their hormones are going, and they're
Both their parents single, both single kids as
Not
well.
to say both their
with
parents
single
are
parents.
banging in the other room, quite
And
frequently.
they expect them. I know, you hear how loud she was being. I was like, good Lord, have some common courtesy
Yeah,
for your
and
teenage
You expect
kids.
those brothers and sisters not to get it? Oh,
You're going through the most.
Come on.
come on. Forget
You
about
fucking-
it.
You're going through the most like awkward, like self-learning.
Oh, yeah.
like
yeah.
phase of your life, and you have this
And then the
other
dad-
girl going through the same thing who is not related to you.
Yep.
What do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah,
Not to
I
say
don't know, I should figure
earlier
it
in the
out.
movie they were already like dating / hanging out before they even became brother
in
and
that
sister.
one
yeah.
alternate universe, yeah.
The lake
'Cause
one,
the
or
one-
with the swimming part?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that the two ways that happened, because he told her the one time he insulted her, was like, I don't swim with stupid people. And she's like, they're my friends. She's like, well, I'm not friends with stupid people. Then they never saw each other again. Then the other one was him being honest with her and being like, I didn't swim, or I can't swim. And out of that,
Yeah. That's another
But
part where I
that's what-
liked where even when it branched off, it branched off even more where
Right.
it went to
Yeah.
another decision that you'd have to make and whatnot.
that's where I started thinking about my life a lot, especially as a kid, because like those little decisions that you make even as a kid can actually drastically affect your life.
Butterfly effects.
Yeah, butterfly effect,
Hardcore,
of course,
yeah.
yeah.
And I
So
did
it's
that
just-
shit all the time where if I was embarrassed, I'd make fun.
Right,
like,
you would make fun of-
that's
What
so
if you were
stupid.
honest,
Those people are
Cash?
stupid.
What if you would have been honest?
I would be dating
You'd
my
be dating
sister
it,
right
yeah.
now. Living my best life.
Yeah.
In New York, cleaning pools, being happy.
Can we talk about the odds though? Like, okay, so your parents get divorced. She finds somebody else, and they happen to
that's
have
classic love
a
story.
very attractive kid that is your age.
Oh yeah,
Fuck out of here.
it's gonna happen.
Unbelievable expectation.
And you're gonna,
that will
and you
never be
expect
met.
me
Never
not-
be met.
Yeah.
Like I
Every-
almost cheered for my parents to divorce as a child after
Because
watching
of that
this
situation,
because I was like, maybe
you're like,
I
I'll
could've
find
found
love.
true
Maybe I'll find love. Every like child divorcee is now like just praying that the next person that their parent dates has
yeah.
a hot child.
Counterpartner, yeah.
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
then the dad is shocked when he's like, I don't know what's going on here.
I know,
You
like, he
know
just-
what's going
yeah,
on here, Dad.
completely,
Come
you just
on.
had no idea.
Especially when they go and immediately run into the same bedroom together.
Right.
With their, yeah,
like
you
nothing,
know what's
you know?
going on.
Come on, you're not that.
Open
smart,
up
Dad.
your eyes here, yeah.
Come on, Harry.
Yeah.
Harry was that his name?
Harry's his name.
Okay. Come on, Harry.
Yeah, it was Harry.
It was Harry. Yeah.
What a weird.
Well, at the
that
very
you remember
end,
that.
at the very end,
It's because the
didn't-
name. It's certain names I can remember easily, and others I can't.
Harry's the one for you.
Harry, well, dude, who the fuck names your child Harry? Like, I feel bad.
Oh,
like,
it's a very
Harry.
stepdad.
The
name.
Potter parents.
I feel bad. It's Harry. Like, hey, you're Harry. Like, I just feel bad for people. You memorize that. I don't know. I heard Harry. I'm like, huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that really,
sucks.
Pick on
really
it.
sucks.
Yeah, no,
You know.
no wonder that you're a fucking asshole. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it
exactly.
makes sense now.
Right, yeah.
I don't want my daughter to be happy because my name's Harry, and I took a lot of shit for it. At
And then they broke up too.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But at the very end, didn't he decide to go with neither parents? And he like runs off into this.
Right.
Well, that was the whole thing. That no decision at all is making just the same amount of choice as making a choice.
I forget what theory that was, but they brought it up.
Who knows, man?
They brought up a lot of
I know
theories.
they did. I couldn't keep up with
I think
them all.
they
was
got the whole
trying, but
spread.
I was like,
Yeah, it was very. That's what this movie was. It was tried to be very philosophical, very, very philosophical. Which, to me, I don't know if it hit right on the head, but this movie was more beautifully shot than anything. I
very,
thought.
very
beautifully shot and well made. The camera and everything.
well
the
made. and
story
even
might
those,
have not.
those slow scenes with the bus too, or not the bus, the train.
Yeah,
Going away, like that scene where he's reaching and looking back for his dad, and they kept reshooting that in different ways.
Yeah.
I really like that. It was
scenes like that
awesome.
were it was the director that really I think held this movie together for me at least. Even the scene where he's floating on the bench or whatever.
Yeah,
or when he goes out and it's like all the helicopters are picking water
Water
out of
up?
the ocean.
Yeah, that was
Where
nice.
it was scenes like that where they seemed like they were just made just to be beautiful. Where I'm not sure if it gave any more to the story, but it was there to I think just look really good.
Yeah.
Because at that point I had no idea Why was he in there? What was the water?
It was okay. So what that was essentially limbo. Because if you remember later on in that movie, he talks to his 118-year-old self, who says that he doesn't exist in this limbo.
And that's the limbo's the one where everyone's wearing the same sweater.
Exactly.
Like the Argyle.
It's the sweater.
Yep.
Limbo. Okay.
So if you walk outside and everybody's wearing Argyle, you know
you've
entered some sort of mental limbo.
You're fucked.
Right.
Yeah.
You are no longer in reality.
No one's wearing that mini sweater vest. No one.
It's a pretty campy comedy show, but I love this show. It's called The Good Place with Kirsten Bell. Have you guys ever seen it?
I've seen the first season. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's good. I like it. It's fun. It's cheaty and all that. But that reminds me of that, the limbo, because they all get dressed up in zebra print outfits in that show too. So.
Yeah, scenes like that where he goes in the limbo and stuff. I like that. And even scenes where like they showed heaven and everything.
Yeah,
like this movie jumps around.
It does a lot
everywhere.
But you stay connected with the storyline though. Even though it jumps around, you still stay with the plot and everything. But I didn't feel like I was like, okay, I'm in fucking nowhere right now.
But the whole thing at the end is like, what was real and what wasn't? Did he really have the power to see many lives? Did he actually? Was this old man just imagining all the things he saw? Was he going through these lives and saying, "Oh, what if I made this choice and that happened?" It could be a million different fucking.
Yeah, I think they just left that up to you.
Oh yeah, it's open ended for sure. Yeah, which is what it's supposed to be. But I mean, you still have to question it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not for sure. At the end, the world ends. It reverses. It goes all the way back.
Right, all the way back.
And that's like the big crunch theory, and it goes all the way back.
For that film.
But did he start that somehow? Did that ignite from him learning something?
So this is an interesting
Try to break this whole movie down, Mason.
Okay. Thank you. And I've always been fascinated with this like kind of philosophy. That we continue, kind of like what this movie bases on, is that we continue to live a life over and over and over again until we get it right. And getting it right may, to some, be financial goals, like in the film, where he's married to a girl, whatever. But I think Nemo Nobody's true, like what he wanted in life was to find love. And when he finally opened up his eyes and made that decision, Anna in the bed right before he died, and then he dies, that was him making that choice.
But like
and
he said,
he finally lived his perfect life because his final words were, "This was the best day I've ever lived." And then he dies right after.
And then he dies.
That's why.
Then he wakes up.
Right.
And then it goes in reverse and it restarts the entire thing over again.
Because he found his perfect life. That's what I'm saying. So now his next life, he will be able to live that perfect life.
But then he also says in one point when he asks which life was the right life, he says none of them were. Mm-hmm. He says so. I mean, to that point, I think he says that each of them were the perfect life. I think he found happiness.
That was before.
Each one found happiness.
Found Anna in his mind. That was before he found Anna in his mind.
It was
with the interviewer in that kid.
But still, I think it was the point where each life did bring him happiness in a way, where each choice was the right one. Although the one where the chick was very depressed most of the time, he still loved that chick. Absolutely.
He was willing to
go to
light his car on fire for her.
Exactly.
Light his car on fire. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
So it's hard to say that was the wrong life when each life brought him kids and happiness at one point. And that life that he chose with Anna was, he chose her, but still that life didn't bring him any kids or anything. It was them in New York, and he was a pool cleaner and whatever. So
let me ask you.
Hard to determine.
Let me ask you. Nemo Nobody.
Yeah.
We're going back through his life, right?
Uh-huh.
And we're looking at all the things that happened.
Sure.
Who do you think, and I'm going to ask this to you, Ryan, too, as well. Who do you think Nemo Nobody was happiest with? What was his happiest life? Out of all those alternate universes, what was his happiest life?
Well, it depends if it's the life. Is it the life where he finds Anna in New York and then he never finds her again because the rain dropped? Don't forget about that.
Right, of course.
That was a life. So,
that's a continued one though, because that just is part of it. Because then she says to go meet at the lighthouse for 2 days, and she doesn't show up either.
Ever, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't he wait there every day for? Yeah. So that life is still shitty.
Correct.
But he had a great life when they were young and everything,
right,
and all that time.
Mm-hmm.
But and then with the other fucking blue girl, depressed girl.
Yes.
What was her name?
Elise.
she never really loved him, I don't think. He loved
No,
her.
because she loved
Stefano.
Stefano. How do you not?
And you're
The
never
good-looking
not gonna.
22-year-old.
Stefano looked like he's fucking 30, and they're at the high school dance.
That was a little weird. Yeah, I was like, okay,
The man
this
had
kid's
a
like
beard.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a beard. I was like,
Of course, Stefano's gonna get all the girls. I mean, come on. But
Stefano.
yeah, but he fucking loved her. He loved her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he cried, or it was the worst point when she died. Remember, in the explosion.
Yep.
And he even went to
And he
fucking.
kept her ashes and
even
everything.
went to Mars,
Put her in
ruined
Mars. And he
ruined
met
his
Anna
life.
for a
Yeah.
second. Before everything just blew up to shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's like, I mean, who fucking? He was rich in the other life.
No, he was
had a
miserable in that.
Yeah, but
but
that
he
can't
was
be his
rich,
happiness.
He had a banging
It's
wife.
not his happiness.
No,
Yeah.
but to
I
that,
probably would have been okay with it.
to that rich
heck yeah.
life.
Oh, yeah, I would be
I
okay
see
with
it
that
as
life.
it was up to that point is when he stopped being happy. Is
After
when
he stopped
we start
being-
seeing, I like maybe he was happy gaining all that stuff, but it was once he had everything is when he stopped loving anything.
Right.
When his life. So I don't know if he could have
Well,
been.
it's true. I mean, that's the case for.
Yeah, exactly. He could
People
have been the
in life
happiest
always have to
fucking guy
strive
ever.
towards
Obviously,
something.
he's achieving these things, but then once he gets there,
I think his absolute pinnacle happiness, unfortunately, was when he was a preteen with Anna under the covers.
oh yeah,
Oh,
Which
without a doubt.
I
yeah.
feel like everything after that was some sort of downhill.
Right, yeah. Went downhill
Like those-
in one way or another. That's
Yeah.
typically how life works. So
Right?
comes
So
and goes.
yeah.
You know, best moments. of your
that
life as a
moment,
kid.
if he could
Yeah.
just lock himself in that moment, that was his happiest.
I think the right choice is Anna. I mean,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, for him though, but I think that's what he's getting at when he's like, so which one was the right one? And he's like, none of them. I think that's what he's getting
Yeah.
at. Is that like what's right for you? Because what's right for Nemo Nobody isn't going to be what's right for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
Very-
for him,
very great point. Yeah.
Absolutely, Anna was the right choice to go. But there's other people that would have been like, shit, I'll take the boring Asian chick and all the money.
Yep.
Like fuck yeah, I'll be super happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's choice.
Yeah.
And that was really cool too, because that was a defining moment in the movie. I felt like obviously it was an impossible choice. Blah blah blah. That's a tagline for the movie. Between the it is.
I know.
Let me pluk this right.
Yeah,
right.
quit trying to plug this movie, all right?
Yeah. So this is Mr. Nobody.
So Mr. Nobody, the
Yeah.
impossible
Netflix,
choice.
Go watch.
If you haven't seen it yet,
I have no affiliation with the movie. No, but I forgot what point. Oh yeah, the impossible choice. I like that though because it was like I don't feel like he really wanted to go. And it wasn't just love either. It was also the mom and dad issue too that he had to decide on. So I felt like it was two factors that he was deciding on: mom, dad.
that mom and dad decision is that's that first 9-year-old. That's the first impossible choice to make, and that's the whole thing tipped off. You know, that's where it's like, how do you make a choice? How do you make an impossible choice?
Well, and
at the
that's-
very end, he makes no choice at all, and that's the whole thing where it's like. But that's where it kicks off.
But I
It's
felt like that was his happiest though when he did make that choice. Because
when he made the choice with his mom.
no, when he made the choice with the path
Oh yeah, to
to go find
to
Anna
take
and
notes,
do her own
yeah.
thing at the end.
Well, because because at the end he's like, when he's in the hospital at the end, he's like, none of this is real. We're all just stuck inside of the mind of a 9-year-old.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, which is trying to say that 9-year-old is calculating, like he's Doctor Stranging it in Infinity War and going through
Right.
every
Well, that was
Every
a-
possible scenario.
Yeah.
3.8 billion or
Well,
whatever.
that was another thing where it's like, is he the old man just envisioning this, or is it just the 9-year-old at that train station envisioning every single life that he had because he had that gift where he could envision
Yeah.
every single life because the angels
That's right.
never
touched
blessed
his
him.
lips or
yeah.
whatever.
That was my choice. That was at the end. That's where I was like, I think all of this was these calculations in the 9-year-olds.
I think he did have the ability to see everything.
Yeah.
Because even when he's older, he does tell Anna at one point that he can see the future sometimes.
He did tell
Yeah.
her that, yeah.
And
I
she-
didn't put two and two together there. That's true.
and he did tell
That's a
her
good
that. So
point, too.
I think he did have the ability to see futures and what it didn't fucking help him a bit.
he saw all of them
Yeah, I
and
know.
still couldn't
and he
figure
still
his
chose
shit out.
wrong 50 times. But, I mean,
That's why I love movies like this, though, is because like I love these open-ended,
Yeah.
open for interpretation. You can take this so many different ways. Like I didn't even look at it like that necessarily. That he maybe did have supernatural powers, but yeah, it makes sense. He's
And-
telling people that his whole life he could see.
and it was a story about how you can make choices, but also things happen where you have no effect at all. Like when he's driving and he dies in the water, or when his shoe falls off when he's running after his mom or stuff like that. I think it was points where like you can make all the choices you want, but some things are just completely out of your hands, where you just got to give it up to the universe and hope it doesn't fuck you over.
Damn, this shit's getting deep, isn't it?
Well, and I love that they also didn't leave it to just 3 simplistic storylines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they really let things branch off and shit. And some
were
of them
extremely layered,
were a dead end, like when he drowns in the lake. But I love that they incorporate things like that. So it's like, it's not that simple. You know what I mean?
And it throws you for a loop, too. I mean, the storytelling, the actual, like, plotting of the story is cool because you're wondering what's happening in the car. And that always get answered later on.
I love that
scene.
But
it almost kind of takes you down this different path that you're not expecting to go on.
Yeah.
I love that scene when he drives off the cliff in the car and he's like, I love fish, and then like shows a bunch of fish dishes. He's like, I never thought they'd love me though, and then the fish comes in to fucking eat him. I like that scene a lot. My favorite scenes that were shot though were the scenes with the depressed lady. Those things I thought were the most emotional for sure. Where that scene where they're having the birthday party and everything, and she comes down.
Oh, she has like her one positive.
She's like manic. You could definitely see that she's bipolar and she's manic. Extremely. And everyone in the family is like, oh, this is one of like those stages where mom is happy, but then the next day she's gonna be.
It might even not even be next day with her.
Oh yeah,
she seemed like she would flip. Fast,
exactly, and that was the whole thing. But you could see in all the kids' faces, they're all worried. Where she was like making them dance and everything. That was, I thought, the most emotional scene. I thought
that was that was one of the highlights for me in that film, the acting wise.
Yeah,
because I mean that's tough to do, and not just with the adult Elise, but the young Elise too. That girl who played Elise as a child, or not a child, 15, 16, like teenage years, she crushed. Yeah. Because she was super emotional through that whole thing because she's picking Alfonso or whatever the fuck. What was his name? Stefano. Yeah. You know, she's going with Stefano and Nemo, and she's going back and forth, and she's crying, telling him, you know, she's a bad person. Just great scenes.
Her whole thing was all about mental illness. You know, well, she was sick from the moment he met her. Right. She was depressed or whatever, and she always said she didn't need anything or whatever, and how no one loves her. She doesn't love anything. That was all about like mental illness, but he fucking stuck with her the entire time, which was those were the best scenes for me. Even though it ended in shit with a random ass explosion on the freeway.
Yeah, for her, you mean? Or no, for them. For them. Yeah, that's right.
Does it ever say why that truck exploded?
No. I didn't see any
shit happens.
Shit happens.
All right, guys, I'm loving the Elise parts, but we need some way to wrap this up. How do we
gotta wrap up this little bit here of
trucks explode sometimes, don't they?
Works for me.
You couldn't do anything. A car wreck. And not to say the explosion happened right from him, but he was fucking fine.
Yeah,
he was. You know, he shook it off. He was carrying her right after and everything, but she did not do so well in the explosion.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice, a car explosion. And it wasn't even a car. It was like that giant tanker.
It was a tanker, yeah. It was like a gas tanker, yeah. It happens, I guess.
I guess.
Luck of the draw.
That shit bugs me, though, like to think that could actually, the way that you die could be something totally random like that.
You work so hard for something, and then something random happens, and
And
you can't let it piss you off though, because when it happens, you're not gonna have any way to change it. Any know-how, or
that's true.
So you can't really let it.
But if I have a fucking second, if I have a second of like thought before I die, though, it's gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be
understandable. I bet.
Fucking damn it!
God, don't even get to finish the sentence.
Is this truck exploding? God damn it!
It's like that great scene in The Departed when he crashes his car at the very end. He goes, pulls out his pistol. He goes, "Fuck it."
Yeah, Frenchie. Yeah.
It's fucking. I love that scene. It's so gangster.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
Just fuck it. Blows his head off.
But
at least he blew his head off. Okay.
I know, but that's the kind of guy he was in that movie.
Oh yeah. Go out on your own terms.
But if I have no choice, and like I'm working so hard for something, and then something random takes me out,
right?
I'm livid.
Oh yeah,
I'm furious.
Gosh, I can't. Yeah. But hopefully it takes me out fast. If it does happen.
We can only hope we go out in a truck explosion.
I really
which
hope
honestly is the most
Mr.
badass.
Nemo nobody and live till 118. Do you think we'll ever be able to live forever? Humans? I mean, not us. I don't think we'll get there. But do you guys think we'll ever be able to do something like this? Or would this always be science fiction?
If we don't kill ourselves before that, wipe us all out, eventually, that's...
It's not mass apocalypse.
You think pseudo...
Or transferring our conscious into it.
That's what I think.
Android body or something where we can live forever. That's
you can definitely scan your brain here in 60 years.
I don't think it's out of reality at all. That's one consciousness could go through many lives.
Yeah.
Which I just don't know what's the point at that point.
But that's what they're going to realize.
To live forever?
Yeah. When you're going to get bored, that's like having everything. It's like being a Nemo.
No, but it's better than not existing.
That's what
isn't life more precious with only 100 years than a lifetime?
No.
It is mortality. No. Mortality is what makes things so.
You know why gold is so precious? Because we have so little of it.
That makes sense. So it's like based on.
So we have a lot of it. Things become less valuable.
Therefore,
life
gold.
will become less valuable. Right.
But would life still not kick ass? Think about it. Okay.
Eventually, you'll do everything.
So
eventually, you will run out of things to do.
But the Earth is pretty big. And then what if we could live forever? We could go to Mars. Dude, I'm thinking big here. I'm thinking like astronomical. Like if we live forever, we could go travel wherever the fuck we want.
But then choices wouldn't.
We have trillions of light years of fucking shit we can go and discover.
But that's like living forever and not needing food or anything like that.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. Just upload my brain and something.
Oh, if I can leave Earth and live forever. Oh yeah, go.
Oh, okay. So you're on the same.
Or become a vampire. Let me become a vampire. I'll live forever.
But then choices have no. There's no weight behind choices.
Plenty of blood.
That's true.
Because if you make the wrong choice, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Like the reason that choices are so important, and the reason this 9-year-old kid is like freaking out, splitting his brain apart, trying to figure out which way is the right way to go, is because you're mortal. You're only going to be these ages one time. Soon as you are ageless and everything goes forever, nothing fucking matters anymore. You're just going to be someone that doesn't give a shit about anything.
Birthdays are out the window.
What if you already don't give a shit, you guys?
Then you should be the immortal one. Then you know what? Then be immortal.
Then I'm fucking immortal. And that's that.
But that was the whole thing. Was remember that the culture in the future where they were obsessed with him.
Oh yeah.
24 hours a day. All they wanted to see was the mortal man, the last one.
Yeah.
So that you could just see that. I mean, for a culture that lives forever,
they literally broadcasted the last words. That's pretty dark.
Yeah, I know.
Like, hey, everyone, check out.
Somehow they fucking knew before. They knew right before he was about to go.
Probably in 2092, they'll probably let you know the minute you're gonna die.
Let's talk about the fucking doctor with full face tattoos.
A trend. In
he was the only one. They showed the hospital, and I was like, look, oh, maybe this is like a medical thing. Everyone's got to get him. Only one.
Yeah, I did notice that. I thought that was odd. Like very odd.
And let me tell you, that's your doctor is the last person you want with face tattoos.
Yeah. Imagine Post Malone walking in and being, or like Tanashi.
You don't want him. You don't want him touching you.
Well,
you don't want him doing anything. Yeah, you don't.
No, I'm good, man.
But he had full fucking tribal tat.
Yeah, that's intimidating.
Because nothing matters. Because he lives forever. Exactly. He doesn't give a shit.
There we go.
Why not? I'm gonna tattoo my face today.
He could regrow skin cells over his fucking face and not have tattoos.
But couldn't they give a better doctor? I mean, Jared Leto, he's waking up. He's 118. Doesn't even know he thinks he's 34. He wakes up. He thinks he's on an alien planet. He doesn't know what's going on. This guy's heart's gonna explode if he sees you.
It's very true. It would be frightening. Yeah. To wake up
right in your face.
Oh, my life is in this fucking guy's
face. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a good ride.
Yeah, I was just saying. It
would seem like there'd be a better doctor they could do.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess he's the one. Of course, that guy was meeting with him for a long time. Didn't he say every week for years?
Oh, how many years was it? It was like 30, wasn't it?
It was so long where they didn't know anything about Mr. Nobody. Where it's like they're like he just showed up one day. Now,
yeah, no one knew anything. It's like all the information we have on people. That was the only thing tough for me to buy.
You would think he would be like a millennia old or like 1,000, but he was 100, and they had no records,
none,
zero, no paper trail of this guy.
So then, what kind of like apocalypse or whatever happens prior to where like all public record got shredded? Because if everybody's living forever, then like what is your like security look like national security look like? Do you guys still have like cops and FBI and like everybody lives forever. So did we just give up on war because we were like, hey, there's really no point now?
I think everyone could live forever, but I don't think they could live forever and then necessarily unless someone like murders them or something.
So
like,
we're still at war?
I guess so.
Unless you can transfer a conscience. Unless you can transfer a conscience too.
That's true.
Also, you get shot and then we just regrow the tissues and organs and. You know what I mean? Like, how is this like Wolverine quick?
Bro,
I don't think.
How fast is this?
I'm literally talking about this stuff.
I don't think it was the point. I think it was quasi-cell generation where your cells die every 7 years. I don't think it was the point where you get your arm cut off and then you just regrow
like
your arm.
Deadpool. It's just a baby,
reptile.
Baby arm for a little bit.
Let's talk about the pigs. The pigs that were compatible to everyone, so everyone had fucking lap pigs.
Yeah,
that's the future. That
and
was their bright idea.
Same colors too. Did you notice the pigs matched? Like the lady in red that was holding it.
I did not enjoy the future parts as much as I enjoyed the past parts.
Oh, absolutely. No,
I thought that whole future world was pretty silly and everything with the pigs and like
even the subway. I was like, why is everything glass?
What's everyone gonna have in the future? Pigs, compatible pigs. Everyone's gonna have fucking pigs.
But you know what? Pigs are actually like I'm not.
I know.
There's
because they shed their exoskeleton and the pigs eat the exoskeleton when they shed their.
It's the future though. Why can't everyone can have a monkey or something? A pig.
Yeah, that's true. A pig but pigs are smart and they're friendly.
Yeah, I know, but it's the future. There's got to be a better future animal by now.
They have those little pocket pigs. You know what I'm talking about? What do they call it?
The teacup pigs.
Oh, yeah. Pocket pigs. You just put it in your pocket. Take it out whenever you want.
The portable pigs? Yeah. You can take them everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, teacup pigs.
Yeah, that was the big future is pigs everywhere and cell regeneration.
It actually doesn't look
and the news guy, who's very annoying, had a microphone in his face.
In his face.
Yeah, the microphone was attached to his cheek.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you didn't see that? That's all future, baby. No microphones anymore.
Okay.
I am into this future.
Put them right in your face.
That's right. Yeah.
If I have a microphone in my cheek, I'm fine.
But I wasn't. Those future parts were my favorite. The makeup wasn't bad on Jared Leto. It was a lot of makeup. I mean, they had to make him look.
I didn't think it looked bad.
They had to make him look old, fucking.
It was also 10 years
old.
ago.
Yeah, but it wasn't horrible. And I liked the Mars scenes weren't bad either.
Mars scenes were cool.
This movie was made 10 years ago, but you could tell it was made on a very high budget for how small of a movie it was.
It primarily got funded out of Europe.
Yeah, because this is the director's first English. He's a Belgian or something like that. But
he's like some.
It was like co-funded by a couple different countries or something.
A bunch of awards too.
Yeah, not Oscars.
No, obviously
it was like
not like the American ones, but like a lot of big ones.
Not like the important ones.
Not the important ones, right?
No, it won. It won for like
ones.
It won for best director and a bunch of different stuff. But for a 2009 movie, this movie holds up.
It does
pretty good with the effects and everything.
I like it.
Yeah,
I was happy to watch it again too. So good pick, Ryan. Good job.
Yeah, it's a good
1 for 1.
Yeah,
which is not bad. Not bad.
You got to start somewhere. Your record has to start somewhere.
I mean, you're batting 1,000. That's good.
Exactly.
The pros,
no, I wanted to do something that would at least give that I knew would be an in-depth topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I knew this was something that's.
Well, I know you're an in-depth guy.
I try.
Yeah, because I've had some conversation with you too. But see, those are the best. They're the best for the podcast.
By the way, last time we talked, by the end of that, I was.
You feeling good? Yeah.
I was a little bit 3 sheets to the wind. All right,
I feel it.
At least 2.5. I remember at one point you were like, you stopped and you're like, what?
Well, I was just being real because what you had done is you had circled around on a point and you had made the same point twice, and I was like, Ryan, you are my friend, and you have made sense all night. This is the one area where I got a question. I got to at least ask common courtesy. What? So that's what I did. I just asked what you meant, and So.
By that point,
it's all.
Just let me be.
It's all good. Yeah, just let you go.
Shoo me out of the car. And be like, you'll find your way.
Right. What are you drinking there? I gotta know. Is that juice?
It's Pedialyte.
What is?
It's a child's electrolyte solution.
Just to get your electrolytes back.
Oh, okay, nice.
Going hard.
So this is the funny thing is
babies drink it.
Yeah, it's for children.
Okay.
But what they did recently is they realized how much of their sales were actually starting to go to because like pop culture. Once rappers start talking about something, it's obviously cool, right?
Of course, you're right. Yeah.
So like people started using this as a post.
Syrup?
Hangover.
No, a post like a hangover cure basically.
Oh, okay.
Because it's actually pretty nifty in that sense. But once it started to become like a pop culture thing, Pedialyte realized that a lot of their market was shifting into hungover adults. And so they started putting together these like these teams that would these like mobile teams that would go to like raves and festivals and shit with
like how
packets.
Rockstar does and stuff, where they go to events and hand out free samples.
So this thing that's been like a child's like pediatrician recommended, all of a sudden
it's an old trick though, but they just started marketing for adults
because it just got into pop culture. So now all of a sudden you'll be at your local festival, you'll be at fucking Burning Man.
It's like a jacked up Gatorade.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and way less sugar than actual Gatorade.
And way less sugar.
For the whole bottle.
Yeah.
That's only 16 for the whole bottle. That's
right.
big. That's a quart.
I'm not gonna lie. It's actually helped me a lot.
Actually,
in various hangovers.
That was 16 for 3 servings, which is a quart. So yeah.
Yeah. Per container is only 16 grams.
Oh, you mean per the lid? Per lid?
No. So a serving size is 12 ounces.
Oh, okay,
and a serving size is only 6 grams.
Right.
The whole thing is only 16 grams of sugar.
Right.
In the entire thing.
Yeah, in the entire thing.
I'm glad we can break this down.
Yeah, so
I'm really glad we.
I'm waiting for that Pedialyte check. Okay, they're gonna.
Yeah, Pedialyte is a sponsor today.
Yeah.
We did talk about it earlier.
We did. Make sure to show the bottle.
But they got like the little powder packs now.
Yeah.
So you'll have like people in rave clothing trying to fit in, like people that are a little too old to be at raves but trying to fit in.
Right.
And they'll be like, "Hey guys, how's your Molly doing? Here's some Pedialyte packets. Stay safe, bro."
Nice.
Yeah, that's what they do now.
That really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Street teams.
Well,
they got their street teams.
Everyone's got to find a job somewhere. I guess.
Gotta find your niche.
Pass out Pedialyte. I mean, I'm down if they want to pay. I'll pass.
Talk about brand revival though.
Yeah, no kidding.
They did bring their brand back, but no, I'm on the wave. I'm on the Pedialyte wave. Yeah. I feel better, whether it's placebo or not. I don't care.
Yeah, there is a placebo because my hangover cure has always been just a bottle of water. And it's done the trick for me every time. Just right before I go to bed, I'm like, a bottle of water, I'm good tomorrow, everyone. Boom. I'm tip-top Magoo. I'm ready to take on the world.
Mine's been 7 more alcohol, and usually more alcohol will even me out. Because if you stay, a little trick, you stay drunk, you can never get a hangover.
You're right.
That's a good point.
And then you just trick of the trade.
Yeah. And then you just live your entire life running from a hangover.
Right.
I'm at the point in my life right now where the cumulative hangover I'm so scared of could kill me. So I just gotta...
the withdrawals.
I'm too far gone now.
Yeah, I'm too far gone. Where if I stop now, it could... The shock itself, my heart could implode. I could do, what's her name? Rehab.
Amy Winehouse?
Amy Winehouse.
Rehab. Amy Winehouse.
She, yeah.
May she rest.
Just got,
Turns out they should have made her go to rehab.
Yeah, they should have.
We just got that Back to Black vinyl, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
We collect vinyls, not to be hipsters, but
that's not hipster at all, dude.
That's awesome. We want the bookshelves. Like we're working on the bookshelves of vinyls, where it's just.
Can you add one to just for me? Add one to that shelf. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
I have it. I have an original master, like an actual.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I think that comes with every record player.
It does. But no. But
have you heard of this one? Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the... Yeah, no, Mason, we're aware of it.
But it's actually original though, because I was lucky enough to inherit all of my parents' vinyls. Oh. So a lot of them are actually from the times.
So you got 60s, 70s, 80s,
yeah, because
90s,
obviously I have a brand new Nirvana still in like plastic wrap.
Right.
But the Dark Side of the Moon is actually...
That's legit.
Warped and old and dusty and legitimate.
So cool.
Yeah. Most of them actually are. Like the majority of my collection actually was from their collections because obviously they had them when that's how you listen to music.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they were like, well, we don't collect them. And obviously there's like, iPhones now. So
right. That you can, yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll take them. So I got like 4 boxes from them.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you ever plan on doing like vinyls?
Yes.
Like that's dope. Like you're talking about music industry and having like fads and stuff like that. Like, I think vinyls, obviously, as you know, really came back. It's pretty dope to get like a signed vinyl from someone. You're like, whoa, this is cool. And
vinyls are fucking expensive.
No, I know,
it's expensive
to
make.
Good money at concerts, dude.
They're expensive to make. They're expensive to keep.
Yeah, but it's an art piece. You know what I mean?
Right,
like obviously,
exactly.
if I gifted you which for having me on your podcast twice now, I'll fucking gift you a vinyl.
Jesus Christ!
But when I
quite the man, or you are. Wow.
You know, I do what I can.
Man of the people.
I'm only a human.
Dude, I gotta sign over something.
You're right. Yeah.
But like,
I didn't give you a gift.
I didn't bring him.
I got a.
Now
What do
I'm
I
feeling
got?
bad.
God, I got a piece of.
I don't know. You got any more proper?
Yeah, that's what I was looking
What do I
for,
got in
dog.
my pocket?
I was gonna say, you got any more proper 12? There we go.
No, I got an empty bottle there though.
But
I was looking for that stuff in Vegas. It was hard to find.
I was just saying,
I ended
I
up
still
going
haven't
with
been able to find
Tito's.
They fucking outlawed it. Dana White
still have
said,
Tito's?
"Do not carry that shit around."
No. What? You can't even say that when it's on the fucking octagon.
What? Oh yeah,
Proper 12 is on the octagon.
Yeah, I know.
it wasn't.
No,
it
on-
wasn't.
Not last fight.
No, it wasn't
but
last fight.
The
on his
Khabib
fight,
one.
but I think that's the only fight it's going to be. I think he paid specifically for that. But
And it was probably part of
because
the
I was
UFC deal.
looking forward at the fight this time, and there was nothing. It was mostly Monster and.
And I walked all over Vegas and didn't find proper 12 anywhere.
That's
Gotta go to
funny.
Ireland. Gotta go straight
But,
to the source.
but he says it's his city though. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, oh, Vegas is.
But that's what was crazy about it is I couldn't find it. So I was wondering if Vegas sold out everywhere. But I have a fucking hard time believing.
He also it took him a while to even get it into the into like regular stores.
And then he
and
sold
shit,
out
though.
fast,
Yeah.
very fast.
But to get back to vinyl though, if I was to give you a vinyl, like it would be an art piece. You know what I mean?
Right.
The first thing you're gonna do probably isn't actually throw it on a record player and
Right.
listen to it.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's
yeah.
an art piece. So I still want to do it as an art piece, but I want to do it slightly different than the original. The original EP to make it something that's unique. You know what I mean? So
okay,
what I
I
was
see what you're
thinking
saying.
is I have like 3 to 4 tracks that actually didn't make it onto the project, and so I was thinking about a couple.
On your 8-track?
Yeah. There's a couple tracks because sampling issues. But if I
Okay.
put it on vinyl,
I was gonna say,
I don't
dude,
care.
you could have made an album at that rate. I mean, at 13 songs, right?
I didn't want to put the sampled songs
Right.
on.
I feel that.
Like for instance, McGregor was a sample,
Yep.
and Have to Go was a sample. You know what I mean? Like,
You can get in so much trouble for that.
dude,
Even
they
for
wanted
little
so
snippets,
much
dude.
money for that too. I actually so
Yeah.
the Regina Spektor one. When I sampled Regina Spektor, I actually reached out to the company.
Saxophone player.
Well, I made the mistake of reaching out to the saxophone or the actual saxophone player himself.
Right.
Turns out he's a loon, and he came at me trying to like sue me and shit. And I was like, he was like, he kept like, he was like, give me this amount of money, and I'm like, nah. And so he kept going down and down on amount of money because he just needed
Right,
money.
he just needed
So
cash,
eventually,
yeah.
he was saying that he was gonna sue me over $200.
Oh,
For
good
the
luck with
sample,
that, yeah.
and I was
Pay
like,
for your
dude, you're a
lawyer.
lawyer. I was,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Pay for your lawyer,
pay for the
pal. Come
lawyer
back to
first,
me.
and then yeah. So that was so
that guy
funny.
can eat a dick.
He ended up like bitching me out so hard on the phone and everything. He's like, my lawyers will be there in a New York minute, and I'm like, let's go.
All right, dude.
But
Bring it.
but I
you
reached
know
out
when people's full of shit too when he drops his price, keeps dropping.
when he's like
$200.
desperate over $200.
Right.
Like, yeah, fuck out of here. But I reached out to the actual publication or the company that still owns Regina Spektor's publishing, and the publishing company no. Sorry, wrong sample. This is the Charles Mingus one from McGregor.
Oh, okay.
I reached out to the person that played saxophone for that Charles Mingus song, Moanin', and then I reached out to the publishing company that owns the rights to all of Charles Mingus's music because he's deceased, obviously.
Right.
And they were like, we want $1,000 up front for your
For that
couple
snippet.
second, yeah, just the
Yep.
that's it, right? $1,000 for that, and then 60% of the new copyright. So they would own 60% of the song for that one little bit.
that
And I was
little
like,
bit,
I'm just gonna. I was like, fuck no, I'm gonna give it out for free.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean.
Yep.
But what I was thinking, I shouldn't be admitting this on live air, but I was.
You'll learn that. Yeah.
I would go with your
Right.
gut on that then, because podcasts. Let me tell you something, my friend. We have 100 and something episodes, and people can go back at any time and listen to the dumb shit.
So I'm not
we
gonna
said.
say. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say.
we're not running for president.
No, we're not. No,
we
not
can't.
anytime.
We can't even. No.
Can't run for any office.
Oh,
not even mayor.
I wouldn't even try to get a mortgage
I
at
don't
this
think.
point.
Any,
I think we're in pretty deep
sir,
on things.
We heard episode 85 of your podcast, and we're not gonna be able to give this loan.
You don't pay taxes.
right. Yeah. You specifically said "fuck the IRS."
Yeah.
We heard that.
In retrospect, I have been audited 4 times since
course,
then,
yeah.
so
As
it did put
That means
a
that
target
you're-
on my back.
That means that your podcasts are doing well, though. If you've been audited, from,
If
that's a good sign.
If one guy at the IRS is listening,
yeah, no, that's a
hate
good
these
sign. That means
guys.
you're getting around.
I
But,
love their movie talk, but they don't pay taxes.
They don't respect the IRS. They don't
So
respect.
I'm gonna
me.
audit you, but I'm gonna respectfully audit you. Like
I will
in all due
listen.
respect.
I will subscribe,
Yeah.
but I am going to audit.
But yeah, so I was thinking about putting like some of the unreleased
Shout out to the
songs. Shout out to the IRS for sponsoring this. IRS and Pedialyte for sponsoring this
Odd
podcast.
combo, but we made it work.
We made it work. But yeah, so I was thinking about putting like some of the unreleased tracks as the vinyl or like on the vinyl and make it like a deluxe edition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then do the deluxe edition.
Because I know artists
on
do
vinyl.
that, right? Like
Yeah.
on vinyl, like they do the deluxe stuff, and then
Yeah.
they put like some on the backside or whatever.
Vinyl's great. You can do hidden tracks. You can do all
side
kinds
of
of stupid shit that people don't know about.
Well, and
Pink Floyd did it all the time.
And you could do more fucking artwork.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like instead of just having one cover art, you can actually put like in
That's
depth.
right, in the-
You know, you could tell
yeah.
a visual story inside of your vinyl as well. So and you know, like I love that shit. I'm big on that stuff. So that's what I was thinking about as far as vinyl, doing like a small batch, like 25 deluxe
You know,
edition
it'd be
vinyls.
cool with one of those vinyls too. And I know I asked you about this before, but I love when musicians, artists, they put lyrics. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really like lyrics
On the inside fold,
because,
put
bro, then I can literally just go through every song and like continue to dissect.
Sure.
Like even Black, like from Pearl Jam, because I started getting into Pearl Jam recently, and a lot of their
recently.
songs. Yeah, I mean, no. I mean,
Mason's
like,
always ahead of the curve.
I don't know if you heard of this band
Okay,
or not,
so
but
let me-
Pearl Jam.
There's
Right.
these
Let me
new guys from
rephrase that.
Seattle.
Let me
This-
rephrase that.
you mean the throat
I go,
guy?
No. Okay, so let me ask you. So when I say I get into a band like The Doors, I know everything about The Doors now. Like literally ask me almost anything. I can tell you who Jim Morrison's girlfriend's name was.
Did you hear
whatever.
the Jim Morrison reference on Rockaway Beach?
I did actually, and that was a good segue point. I didn't want to bring up, but I kind of got a little shade for being a dumbass. So,
What?
what was I talking about? What was
Pearl Jam.
Pearl
Jam,
Jam,
we're
right?
talking
So
about
no.
Pearl Jam.
Anyway, so Pearl Jam, no. But I don't mean like I just started listening to Pearl Jam. I mean like doing the research and homework and all that kind of shit, and like looking into the lyrics and looking in Black and stuff. And there's a lot of good stuff that I appreciate looking into lyrics because like Moonlight Drive.
Well, Pearl Jam's got a lot of them.
No, I know they do. Yeah, they do. I mean,
gonna be
just
at work
10,
for a long
just
time.
10 is like one of the best I've ever fucking
Half their
listened to.
songs are 18 minutes long, so I mean, you're gonna.
Yeah, but that's coming from a guy who's a Pink Floyd and
Oh yeah,
the
That
Doors
doesn't
fan,
faze
so
him.
it doesn't faze me at all. No.
long ballads. Yeah, they'll get you.
Did you see that up there?
What?
Oh yeah, I'm a keeper.
I did see that.
I told him I was gonna hang it up. I did.
What is that?
Shout out to Kat. I don't know what it is.
Zagano?
Honestly, what? No, that Kat Zingano. Yeah, no, she got poked in the eye. Did
That's
you see
a
No,
that?
she
Horseshit,
got
dude.
fucking kicked in the eye.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a
kicked in the
toenail,
eye,
like
yeah.
a straight toenail scrape across the face.
You hear her eyes all fucked up.
Is it really?
Yeah, she's got like corny. I feel so bad for Kat Zingano. She's literally been training the last 4 years, and she gets poked.
Well, and she's a fucking. Good
I do
fighter,
not think
too.
they should have called
Why are we
that.
talking about fights on a
Yeah.
movie podcast? It's
Anyways,
weird.
I don't think they should have.
Cat made that for you?
What?
Cat made that for you?
Not Zingano.
No.
No, Cat.
Like,
no.
yeah, like.
Oh,
a
you weren't
cat?
there at the Christmas party. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
I'm
I have
sorry.
no fucking
That's
clue.
why
You're
you
like,
were-
did you see that? I'm like,
You kept giving me a random look. I'm like, what? Do you not fucking remember that? But no, you went to the Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was. No, I'm sorry. There was a. Never mind.
I only went to the one
Moving
that
on. I'm over
we...
2 right now. Holy shit. I'm not running on enough sleep.
That's
Obviously.
okay.
I just got back from Vegas, boys. I want to say that on the podcast because I like to brag.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
by the way.
Vegas.
Name
Vegas is
dropping
fucking fun.
Vegas.
We still talking about Mr. Nobody?
No, we're not.
Do you want to get into the EP?
Yeah, I do actually. As a matter of fact, because I can't believe we're already an hour in, boys.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
So, talk about your Morrison reference first.
All right, we'll start with that.
Yeah.
So in order to get into that, though, I have to give a brief little bits about Rockaway Beach in general. So Rockaway Beach was like so hopefully, if I did my job right, hopefully you noticed it was me talking to an old man, right, in the bar. And at the end, the old man's not real. Did that at least translate?
No. Not to me. Not to me, man. But see, again, like I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm on a plane with fucking crying kids.
No, you're right, you're right.
Like, and I got an early listen to it.
Sure.
I'm pissed off on the plane. That's why I like lyrics too, because then I can actually go through and listen to the whole thing and like
Okay.
pick up the story.
So Rockaway Beach is me. I went to Rockaway Beach and by myself, and I was like, I need to fucking find myself. And I did end up in a way finding myself, if that means a fifth of rum deep at night on the beach, like running through the
Right.
waves by myself. If that's finding yourself.
And that's definitely an analogy.
Definitely an analogy. So, hypothetically, if you were running through the beach at night with a fifth of rum feeling like Jack Sparrow.
Right.
But no, so like the song is like me realizing that I'm obsessing so much over my desires and what I'm trying to accomplish that I'm actually like spinning out and burying myself. And there's a couple lyrics that allude to that, with the one that's like I see nothing in life but my art, and that tunnel vision has blackened my canvas. Ain't that ironic? And then there was the other line that was like, you've become blinded by the very path that gave you your vision. Like, is this whole like I'm obsessing so much that I'm actually killing myself over it.
Yeah.
And so
what do you think that is, though? What do you think that obsessive behavior stems from? And what is it exactly that you're obsessing about?
So
like goal-wise.
I think, so success in what I told the world would be my career path. Because like when you
and I'm
jump
asking
off
because
a
I
cliff,
feel the same way too.
Yeah,
I
you
get
jump
what you're
off
going
a cliff.
through, yeah.
When you say that you're in any sort of arts or entertainment career, when you say this is what I'm going for, like you either do it or you failed. You know what I mean?
There's no
like
in between.
there's no
in between.
I'm not a casual. You either succeeded or you failed. And so I told the entire world that I was gonna make a life off of music. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so once you do that, that's it. And so I think it was that. I think it was the fear that if I failed, like I fucking failed in everything that I said I was gonna do, to my friends, to my family, to my hometown, like to everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I leapt. I'm not gonna fall. I'm not gonna drop.
Right.
And so that fear and that desire to not fall is where that comes from, that obsession. But then also I'm like burning my candle at both ends, and like I'm not actually seeing, like I'm actually losing inspiration because I'm not living anymore. And like your inspiration from your art it comes from living. And so it's this conversation with this old man, where this old man is like, I used to be just like you. I made that mistake. It's like one of Mr. Nobody's paths.
Alternative paths, yeah.
He's like I'm warning you this now so you don't do this to yourself. And then at the end of the song, it turns out that I'm just drunk at this bar alone, and the old man is actually me. He's just like me seeing my future self and not wanting that for myself.
It's like a third person view on who you are.
Yeah, basically.
At that moment, right?
Exactly.
And then having a self-realization.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what Rockaway Beach is. That's as a song. And then the Jim Morrison thing was because I was going into this whole, in that section of the song, I'm going into this whole thing about.
So real quick, go back to the the third song on the track. You're talking about going and feeling like you're overwhelmed, and it's actually like taking away from your passion. Do you ever feel like, or not passion necessarily, but you feel like your candle's burning, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're focused on because this is how I am in my life. I'm focused on too many avenues.
Yes.
To where it's like you at some point you kind of have to just really focus on one for a year to build that one up, move to the next one, because I know you read and stuff, and there's many ways to success, but it's that 5 streams, and that's what I've always tried to base my life on. But it's really hard because you got to get one going before you start the next, before you start the next, before you start the next. You got to make sure all these are running smoothly.
Absolutely.
And I have a feeling because I burn out too sometimes, and I'm like, because I'm focused on too many things.
Sure. No. That absolutely happens. And then one thing that you have to remind yourself is that once you get one lane actually successful, it'll be so much easier to do the other ones, as opposed to trying to pave the road
5 roads
from nothing. Yeah. Like once you have one road, then it's like, what if we just built bridges instead of paving 5 new roads at the same time? What if we just bridge these? You know what I mean? And so that's another thing too, is that I'm desperately clawing at like any chance I get to succeed, that I am doing so many things. You know what I mean? Like between the music, and then like trying to also run the entertainment company for 2 other people's music as well, and then like getting into the acting thing, and then like the radio station and everything. You know what I mean? It's all these lanes that I sometimes I find myself losing my own creativity by just burning myself out. Like,
so you're on the radio, right?
Yeah,
like once a week, right? You got a show
once a month. Once a month. Yeah,
right.
on Vancouver's independent radio.
How are you liking that? Is that fun?
It is fun. Yeah. It's cool because it gives me a chance to spotlight people that are also trying to follow a similar, either are trying to follow a similar path to me, or they're 50 years old and they have a whole life of music to tell. You know what I mean? So like once a month I spotlight somebody that's in the music scene in Vancouver. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah, that's even better too because it's all local based.
Exactly.
Music. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no real place for people in Vancouver to express themselves. You know what I mean? There's no venues. I'm gonna change that one day, but
which is something I find fascinating because like I go to like I don't know what you call them. Indie rockers or like indie shows, like where it's kind of like a low key, like, but it's fun. But it's like bands. They got a lot of that stuff in Vancouver. Like I just went to the one off Main Street, that bar, Trapdoor, I think is what it's called.
The brewery.
Yeah, I just went and saw the Exquisite Exquisite Taste of Plain Water there a couple weeks ago. But they're a band.
I saw the flyer for that.
Yeah, a Northwest band.
So here's
but
the thing.
I enjoy that kind of stuff, but I don't see that a lot.
Well, and that's because here's the thing. You got like Billy Blues. You got Brick House, you got Trapdoor. You have like some bars and brew pubs that play music, okay? I'm not going to be in any of those. Right. A lot of genres aren't going to be in any of those. You know what I mean? Yep. There's nowhere for them to play aside unless you're indie or unless you're a singer-songwriter. Yeah. Unless you're folky, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or you're Tony Smiley, the one-man loop ninja who's just he uses loop pedals, so he'll build every song in front of you using like 6 different instruments.
Oh, that's kind of
He's
cool.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that's like a commodity, you know what I mean? That's an act that can be sold on the fact that that's how his act is. You know what I mean? Other than that, there's these places, these bands and things have and artists have nowhere to play unless you go to Portland, unless you book a venue.
Portland.
Yeah, so there's no actual music venue in Vancouver.
Do they have anyone in the horizons anywhere?
Yes, there's 2. One of them is going to go underneath Grocery, Cocktail, and Social. They're making a venue there.
Is that on 55 or 205?
No, it's in Main,
Main Street?
Main Street, like 2 blocks, like, you know where Brick House is? Like 2 blocks down, 3 blocks down and a block over. So like in that area.
Yeah.
And then also I have aspirations to put together an all ages venue in downtown Vancouver.
Really?
Yes. So if you know anyone that wants to invest a shit ton of money. I got
I'll call Bill.
You better tell us first if you find anyone.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, why don't you give us the heads up? Have you been hiding someone that's just looking to burn money? You got someone in your back pocket? Yeah. Oh, actually,
no, you mentioned it.
No, you guys never asked. You never asked. That's my problem.
But yeah, so definitely trying to build more creative avenues for people to express themselves in Vancouver, and that's part of what the radio station actually the radio station in general, because I'm the only music show. The other shows are like what's going on in Vancouver, interesting events. They'll interview all the people running for different political positions and offices in Vancouver. So it's KXRW is a really awesome all independent volunteer based radio station.
All volunteer.
Wow. Yeah, I don't get paid for that. I do that because it's.
Well, no, I just mean for the entire thing. That's awesome. Thing. That's pretty cool. Everyone volunteers to do that. That's,
like we have, and then so like on every one of my episodes, I have commercials where so that our funding comes from donating companies in the Vancouver, Portland area and things like that. So it's really awesome, really community based. But
speaking of other avenues, you started making videos and stuff too.
Yeah.
Do we talk about that or no?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. What are your plans in 2019 in regards to what we were talking about in the car? I just don't know did you announce that? I don't want to.
Oh, no, that's fine. We can talk about that. So
that's what I was
for one, before we get into the executive order season 2 shit, I'm going to do like a 3-part series from the EP that I just released.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to be like less scripted talking and more so just like a story through the actual
music
scenes,
right?
And and the actual filmed scenes. You know what
it's
I mean?
It's no dialogue, but it's like Hate Me, Blue October, that whole story that they told of the son dealing with drug problems.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like telling the story without saying any dialogue. Yeah. That's what you mean.
I'll have like a few little, maybe like a monologue or here to like kind of tie things together, but not like our past one where there might be like 5 minutes of acting and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do a 3-part series with that really kind of lays out me as a human, like kind of like an introspective look at myself. And then we're going to get into the executive order season 2. And like I was telling you before, I want to do away with the actual music video part of it and literally just have like a TV show. Like
a web series.
Yeah.
Because you're going to put it on like YouTube and stuff. Right?
Absolutely. So like, you know, because we were kind of doing like it's a short film, but it's also a music video, you know what I mean?
Right.
And just get rid of that and then just use all of our own music for the soundtrack for it.
And that's perfect too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of places look for that. What's that show? Westworld.
Yeah.
But they've got that song. What's her name? The main character in Westworld. Not Donnelly.
Her name in real life?
No. Her
In the
character
show?
name. Yeah.
The blonde one?
Yeah.
God.
Never mind.
I can't remember.
Anyway, there was a
Betty
song
Sue.
named her, after her. But it was played by a no-name,
Gotcha.
essentially.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But they buy those rights. Sometimes these TV shows will hear music that they like that maybe will correlate with whatever the season title is or whatever the episode title is or having to do with the episode.
Or kind of like how...
Sons did the same thing, actually. Now that I think about it, Sons of Anarchy. They had some no-name music.
And
throughout
Peaky Blinders adopted that Nick Cave song, Red Right Hands, that starts every...
Right, but that one's a known song, the Red Right Hand.
Sure.
It's very
but-
famous.
I mean,
It's
that's a
famous Nick Cave song.
No, I know. But
Everyone
they-
knows Nick Cave, but everyone knows
they
Red Right Hand.
they adopted it in the sense that like you'll be watching different episodes and they like had an entirely different, like they have different adaptations of the same song.
Right, okay, yeah, I
Like
see
they
what
would
you're
have an
saying.
entire
Yeah.
children's choir do the song to start that episode because it just fits that episode
Right.
more.
I see what you're saying there, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. A lot of shows, season finales will get like a no name or something.
And then
a
it'll blow up
song
their
that's-
career. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
not
absolutely. Yeah.
every single
Rick
time
and Morty
ever, but
did it.
does
Season 3, they did
blow
a really
people's
small
careers up.
band and a bunch of people do that. Yeah, and absolutely. Because those are songs you always remember.
Exactly.
You don't remember the song you hear in the
dude.
middle. You hear the song and you hear at the
Yeah,
end.
he just brought up Peaky Blinders, and even though it's a famous song, it's like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun. You know what I mean? Like it just goes
They
through my
also
head
play
over
that
and over.
song in Hellboy, which is perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the new Hellboy? Real quick.
I'm looking forward to
So
it.
am I.
It looks a lot more like the
am I.
comic book. I love Dave Harbour, you know. Stranger Things. I mean, I'll watch anything, but
And you know what,
I'm
that's a-
excited.
that's a good-
it looks
that's
kind of
a good
silly.
pick.
It looks Deadpool-y kind of. It looks
Yeah.
that comic book is really dark, but it's light too. It's funny, but it looked a lot funnier than the ones with
Than the
Ron
other one,
Perlman,
yeah.
which
Ron,
were a
we
lot.
love Ron.
Oh yeah, we absolutely love Ron, but yeah, fan of the show.
Fan
Ron
of the
Perlman.
show, Ron
Always
Perlman. We'll
listening.
be on next week.
Always listening. I'm sure he's got some strong feelings about the new Hellboy. You know, it's his baby, but I'm excited for it.
So what can we expect in season 2 without giving away too much? That's tough, isn't it? Gosh,
It
don't you
is.
hate that? Don't you hate those kind of questions? Because you're like, I don't want to give away anything, but at the same time, I got to say something.
So a lot more. Okay. Everything will be a little more in depth, like because we're doing away with the still tying it into a music video. We're gonna be able to be longer, like you know they might be 15, 20-minute
Right.
Episodes as opposed to like 9. You know what I mean? I think was our longest one. So we'll our actual script writing will be able to get a lot more in depth.
Yeah.
New characters. Mason Knight.
Let me, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get that one second. Really, because I'm informative. There's a really awesome writing tool that you can use if you have like an iPad or whatever you write on. It's called Scriver. It's only $20. You guys know what it is? Okay, perfect. I mean, you can literally organize all your notes in that. It's the best app ever. So like when you start doing your screenplay, you're like, okay, I got characters, I got this, I got that. You can piece it all together in that app.
Okay.
It's very valuable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Word.
just heads up.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. New characters, but then also like character development. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like actually, you know, because making an entertaining video is different than like making something that's people can actually follow and feel like they're a part of.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we want to actually get more in depth with the character development as well.
I think that's super smart. I think that's the best way to go for getting people to like really invest. I think that's the hardest thing in like artists, like it's just investing, you know, people investing into this podcast, people investing into your music, people investing into the acting, you know?
Yeah. So if they feel like they're learning the character along the way, you know what I mean? That gives them a reason
Exactly.
to
It gives
latch
them
onto
investment into that character.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
So I'd say those are some of the biggest things. Is just everything will just get a little more in depth and professional. You know, we try to just up our game everything that we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's the best plan.
Yeah. So
if you're not going up, where are you going?
Ideally, we would like to get better.
Yeah, exactly,
Hopefully we're improving. But yeah, so I'm definitely excited to be able to kind of explore that avenue because, you know, like it's something that we've both been passionate about, both Max and myself, is the whole like short film thing and whatnot and the acting thing and everything. And so to be able to tie that in with our music is just fucking awesome.
I gotta be honest, listening through your EP, I found a lot of rock. I found a lot of guitar. I was shocked. I thought it was only going to be on that one song, but it was throughout.
It was like 3 songs with live guitar.
Yeah.
And Rockaway
and
Beach
who
was...
did it? I know you told me one of the songs, the guy who did it, but who are the other 2?
My engineer.
Okay, so it was all 3 of them. Okay, yeah.
That guy's such a G. That guy's the most talented dude ever. He Matt Jefferson at Black Diamond Recording Studios. He's in this band called, or he was in this band called Mortified Mortician. He's toured the country with Mortified Mortician. It's very
that's a mouthful. Mortified Mortician.
Yeah. To put like simply, to oversimplify it, kind of Marilyn Manson-esque.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because the first time you told me, I went through his Facebook and checked his pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's definitely Marilyn Manson-esque.
Yeah,
it's dope though.
So he has, you know, like rock, metal, you know, that's his original lane. Mm-hmm. But that dude, he could play everything. He could play most instruments. Yeah. Most all instruments. And he's a really good singer. Like he's just a very, very talented dude. And he's a hell of a fucking recording engineer. So I recorded all of my stuff.
Jack of many trades.
Yeah. Well, that's he's the lead. He's like the kind of like he's the head engineer at Black Diamond Recording Studios.
Oh, okay.
So he's got his shit together. Like that dude knows what he's doing. So all my stuff was recorded with him. And then he also mixed down all of my beats. So like I would make the instrumentals, but then I would like give him the, like when I would go to the studio, I'd bring the track outs so that like the kick drum was on a separate track, the snare was on a separate track, hats, everything, right, was on a separate track. So then he was able...
Hold on. So let me just backtrack real quick. So you're sending him separate tracks? I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this.
Okay, so I'll produce...
I get what you're saying with separate tracks and all that, but you're sending him that file, all those tracks, and he's putting it all together is what you're telling me?
Well... So I'll produce a song, write it, and then I'll go to the studio, and I will keep the pattern. So like if the kick plays at these parts of the song, it'll still maintain the entire song structure, but they'll all be in individual tracks. So when he lays it out on his software, it's still the entire pattern of the song, just in individual instruments. And the reason we do that is because he has hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of mixing plugins. So then he'll take each instrument and just make it sound 10 times better.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So now all of a sudden he's bringing my raw beat to life.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
And then we might be fucking around, like for instance, track 2, the really heavy one, we'll be fucking around and I'll be like, hey, what if instead of a third verse, we did a guitar solo instead? And he'll be like, direct in and just be like, maybe like something like, that's not how he talks, but maybe something like,
I'm the Terminator.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then he'll just be like, and then we'll be like, cool, perfect. You know what I mean? So like a lot of that stuff.
I love watching people play guitar live. It's insane.
Right?
Those people who are really good, who shred. And
and
just like,
he's the type of dude that can like come up with something creative on the whim. You know what I mean? So the cool thing about my songs, every song on the EP, and one of the reasons that it took so long is that every song was like an adaptive process. You know what I mean? Like it would start as this and then it would evolve.
Well, I don't think majority of people have a real true understanding how much goes in to music.
It's an iceberg.
I have more knowledge than the basic person, but even I, not being an artist, can comprehend. Like there's a ton that goes into music.
Dude, it's funny. It's like, I know it's a cliche metaphor, but the whole fucking iceberg thing, right? People see the finished project. And what's funny is that, like, if I ever show her like a rough of something, I'll have to justify it with all like with the next 10 things that I'm gonna do to it. Like, okay, listen to this, but also it's rough, and also the kick is gonna be a little sharper, and also I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Because people will just, and like I should know by now that like people like her or like people on my team and everything, like they get that, they understand that, you know what I mean? I don't have to justify it to them, but for the average person, is whatever they hear at that moment, it's like their judgment is based off of what that is then. You know what I mean? So like I have to make sure that it's this perfect. Sometimes like I've had him go back, like the song is done, it's on CD Baby, and they're waiting for my final confirmation to put it to streaming services. And I'm like, dude, can you like take the volume just like 0.2 decibels up and remaster it and give it to me and I'll re-put it on CD Baby? Because I know that like when people listen to it, it has to be right at that, it's like it has to touch that right spot of the eardrum. If like the vocals are like too quiet, or if something's off, it just doesn't tickle the right spot of the eardrum right off the bat. And if it doesn't, you're done.
Your song's got to mix right too, man. It's very important.
So it's this whole process from like the beginning, from the first, from picking the right kick and snare to the very end when you're mastering it to sound the same, like to be continuous with the rest of the songs. Like from point A to point Z is like a million steps. And that's why this project took so long.
It should actually be point A to point 1 million, because there's not quite that many letters.
You're right. So like alphabets to the fifth power.
Just being dumb. I'm a dummy.
Alphabet to the fifth power steps.
There we go.
But yeah, so it's, you know, and that's this project took like 3 years because it was me finding out who I wanted to be as an artist and who I was capable of being as an artist, and then also us finding, me and Matt finding our creative rhythm, and then also just a stupid amount of like what ifs. Like, what if we tried this?
Which
what
is
if
basically
we
like
this?
a Mr. Nobody, like what ifs. It's
the whole project,
right?
And I was thinking, I was like, you know, one of the reasons I chose Mr. Nobody is because I also feel like I relate to like the ifs. You know what I mean? Like if I chose,
like, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
Right,
so all of a sudden, here we are playing with like a million different possibilities, and it's like, which one's the right one? None of them. Whichever one you want. You know what I mean? So like it all routes back together.
All of them.
That's
the way to live life.
Right?
Every choice
just
I
do
make
everything.
is the right one.
Everyone will bring happiness.
So that's
I think that's how narcissism is born.
Narcissism is is when nothing matters.
Nothing at all matters. Yeah, that's right.
And we're all gonna die anyways and be unhappy.
In the wise prophetic words of Drake,
he is a prophet, I've heard.
Being humble doesn't work as well as being aware.
Being humble don't work as good as being aware. Okay, what is that? Hold on, I know what that song is.
I actually don't even remember which song it was.
Don't work.
Let's wait. This makes great podcasting.
No. Okay,
Dead
so
silence.
this is from The Views, 2016.
It is.
See, this is why I like music too, because like I try to remember stupid things like albums and songs.
Remember when I was
Drake's gonna be pissed if you don't get this.
He's listening. He listens to your
Drake.
podcast.
Oh, he's a
Fan of the show.
Drake. Who's the other guy? Who was our other fan that we were just talking about?
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Well, and the IRS.
Which that's
those are sponsors.
That's our target audience, actors and musicians.
Of course.
Drake and Ron Perlman. That's how broad our fan.
It's pretty incredible. I mean, really, it's quite something.
Oh yeah.
Remember when I was gonna talk about the Jim Morrison thing 45 minutes ago?
Yes. Bring up some Morrison. I could talk about Morrison literally all day long.
Oh,
okay, not all day long.
No, dude, it wasn't even views.
Probably about 3 hours, maybe. I think my max for Jim is 3.
It's not a lot of time.
It's
I mean, I'm sure there's people that can talk.
It wasn't even
days
views. It was 0 to 100.
So you got
0 to 100.
Wow.
Real quick.
Oh wow, that's right. Oh yeah, it was from that stupid famous song 0 to 100, which is a great song.
That sample was actually.
I'm just bitter that I got that wrong.
But that was also a really solid sample, though. I don't remember what the sample was, but there's a program called, or there's a website called Who Sampled? WhoSampled.com.
Who sampled?
WhoSampled.com. And
they just give you samples of music. They don't let you have the whole thing.
No.
Oh, just one-liners.
Stick with me. Stick with me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. Sample like for the instrumental. Just a goofy guy. It's okay. Just a goofy guy.
Man.
No. You could type in a song and it'll tell you where the sample came from. Like if they use the sample on the beats,
right,
and they'll be like at this second they use this part, and then they'll match it up with, and then you can go back and forth from the song and the sample, and it's really cool. So yeah, you can see like, and they'll also give you stats like the most sampled artists and what songs were sampled the most and things like that. But 0 to 100 use.
So can you use? So obviously you're able to use sampling then, right? So in your music, if it's
no, technically no.
Really?
Well, you have to do what's called clear the sample. And a lot of people like to say, well, if I don't sell it, it's okay. Technically, that's a gray area.
Yeah.
That's a gray area.
Right.
But like how I sampled that McGregor, or that piece from McGregor, and they wanted $1,000 and 60% of the copyright. So that's what they have to do. Like Kanye West probably.
So it's just negotiating tables.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is. If you want to sample someone else's work, it's just negotiation.
Yeah, and it's also their decision. It's whoever owns the publishing.
Right.
It's their decision. They could always say no too. But if you're somebody like Kanye West, he probably gets a decent deal because it's also reviving songs that haven't drawn income in a while, and now all of a sudden they're gonna get a percentage of a new Kanye record.
Eminem used Changes, the Black Sabbath song.
Yeah,
so
and they're making money off that. You know what I mean? So like, when you have,
but that song was made in like '68 or '69, so it was like all those years ago. But as you're talking about revamping an old song, that's exactly what that did.
And it's fresh income for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when you have leverage like that, but I didn't have any leverage, I can't be like, hey, I'm gonna bring your song life.
Right.
They're like, hey, how about $1,000? I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I spent a couple $100 just to record the song.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not making anything from it. But yeah. So the Jim Morrison thing. To round all the way
back.
I have this real cool thing that I do, right? My therapist probably wouldn't say it's healthy, but I have this real cool thing that I do where if it makes a cool song, justified immediately.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter
that's how you live
what
life?
I do. That's how I do. If I can turn it into inspiration for a song, immediately justified, null and void. All of the shitty things I did in life, null and void because I made a song.
So if you were Tom Petty, you would be free falling.
Yes.
Or if you're Jim Morrison, you'd be railing heroin.
What?
And if you're Jim Morrison, you'd be railing heroin to get to that point.
So
I shoot it right into my testicle.
I know you do.
I shoot it right into my testicle and I go,
you find
Jim
a vein
Morrison.
there? That's impressive.
There's a vein in there.
No vein.
No vein. Just inject it.
You'll find its way.
It just hangs out in there, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Super
Continue.
smooth.
Gosh, I keep interrupting.
No, you're fine. You're fine. This is how podcasting works, right? Isn't podcasting just like a bunch of spirals?
Yeah, it is because it's
a bunch of rabbit holes.
Just three people are interrupting each other.
For
never completing an actual thought.
You compile, and then you just compile the rabbit holes into an hour-long program, and you're like, "Here, guys, listen to this."
Hopefully, it's audible, and hopefully, people can get something out of it. Most of the time, it's incoherent. No one understands what's going on.
Oh, that's amazing. Jim Morrison. So the whole thing is that like I had this section in Rockaway Beach where I was talking about how I was justifying, like I was basically kind of being sarcastic with myself, where I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, you made it into a song? Cool. Go, do drugs. Go spend half your life wasted. Go be adulterous. Whatever you want to do. Who cares? Like stray away from your family. Doesn't matter because you made a song about it, right, Ryan? So that's cool, right? Like it's like me kind of like,
I get it.
Being facetious with myself almost. You know what I mean? And so like that there was that part in there where it was like feeling just like Jim Morrison, so that justifies all your drinking. Something like, oh, this is just the troubled mind of an artist. Might as well let loose. You're already sinking. No, really, it's all right. Lose your family. It's just the rock star way of life. Fuck it, snort that line and fuck that shit. Because this, like, you could turn this whole night into a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was basically that. And so like, me feeling relation to Jim Morrison is like, The last song on if you listen to the last song on the EP, Apollonian Dionysian, is like what we were talking about before with like the split sides. Yep. And so like Jim Morrison is definitely my Dionysian side. You know what I mean? If I look at just like what is my innate behavior? Like what if I take out logic and I take out reasoning, what do I want to do? I want to go buck wild. Put me on a stage so I can fucking thrash in front of a bunch of people, get really drunk, hang off the banister, and like probably break my leg, you know, somersaulting off the, you know, the top floor. I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like what I want to do. Yeah. That's what I want to do. Like then I have to be a logical, reasonable human and not do that. But if I just do what I want to do, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? And so that's my whole like. My like Jim Morrison side is just this like wildly destructive energy that's like it's destructive to myself, but also other people love it. You know what I mean? It's like it's just this.
Well, and that's part of the artist.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's
like it really
side.
is. Yeah, it's like it's part of the artist. As much as we hate to admit it, it is. I mean, we see it a lot in music, but it's not just music. It's not just limited to music either.
No,
I mean, we see it's any art, like just artists in general. You know,
we just have. You know, we feel like we're not always allowed to let this energy out. So when we do, it's like a fucking
it's wild
hydro cannon.
Yeah. Yep.
So so that was like me relating to my Jim Morrison side is that like, oh, that's cool, Ryan. Just relate all the shitty things you do or justify all the shitty things you do by your ability to like make some
song about it. Right,
I'm no different than anybody else. I just then re-speak it on a recording and give it to people, and that difference, just the fact that I reiterate it in a relatable, catchy, or meaningful manner means I get to do all of these things. No, but in my mind, you know what I mean.
Right,
so that was like my so that's why Jim Morrison came into that song, was when I was justifying my actions by saying that I'm living my artist life. I'm living my wild.
You got to find emotions.
So
find the balance in the two too, because you need that as well.
You do.
You have to have that. As much as people don't like to admit it, you have to have that.
Yeah. So that was the Nietzsche.
You just got to find that.
Yeah. So that was the Nietzsche inspired Apollonian Dionysian track.
Right.
Was that it was like here's my the fact that I'm trying to run my music and me and Max are trying to build this entertainment empire. You know what I mean? In the Pacific Northwest, this independent record label / indie film company, like we're trying to build legitimate business, right? And so it's like balancing that with the artist side. So it's like, how much time do I need to dedicate to being responsible and building, building entities, and how much time do I get to spend in my head being emotional?
And I think that basically comes down to like what the individual finds as preferable to like what you can handle.
Sure.
I think that's what it is, because there are some people who can literally handle that all the time.
Well, I think everybody's
like
somewhere
Joey
on the
Diaz
grade.
is stoned 24 hours a day. That guy's never, but he's fucking hilarious at what he does.
He's been practicing his whole life.
But he has been practicing his whole life. Yeah, right. On top of that, I'm definitely not encouraging that either.
Sure.
to be a wild man to that extent. But it just comes down to like personal. Like what do you want out of it? Because you should cut loose too, man. I mean, have your fun up on stage.
Right.
But maybe that's where you could limit it too, is like on stage, where you get wild.
Yes, but that's the issue, is that it also leaks out other times.
Right. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so think about it. So say like say Joey Diaz was not able to make a living off of comedy and podcasts. So then what would he be doing? You know what I mean? He's
doing
able
what he did before, smoking weed and doing nothing.
So he's able to live. He found a way
taxi
to
driver.
make.
He might make a good taxi driver.
He would make a good taxi. Well, now he could be an Uber driver now. You know.
That's right. Yeah.
Be high all day.
Exactly.
All Uber drivers.
Except if you farted in the car, it'd be death. At least
And you can imagine that car would be probably pretty gross. Not to say anything against Joey Diaz. Big fan of the show. He's always listening.
I will be on the church next month, so that's happening.
Ron Perlman, and Drake always get together to listen to our show every Sunday.
It's an odd combo, but it works.
Oh, they're great friends, best of friends. 3 peas in a pod.
I love the
You would
group
never guess
messages. The group messages, all the inside jokes we get.
Oh, great guys. Great guys.
Not that we're bragging.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everyone has celebrity friends.
of
Is
course,
it
right,
normal?
yeah.
Being humble doesn't work as well as being aware.
Being aware, yeah.
That's our guy Drake.
Good friend. Good friend of the show.
You'll learn. Never bring any celebrity up because they're always a friend in the show.
They're always okay. Man, you guys have the widest fan base.
Except
The
Harvey
widest?
Weinstein is not allowed
widest.
on our show.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, after we tried having him on one stand.
He got a little weird with us.
got a little handsy.
Got a little rapey with me. Started getting handsy. I said, look, man, I don't want to be in your new movie. That's it for me.
You're gonna be a star, Mason, a star. And he starts rubbing your shoulders.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not sure why we had him on.
Man.
I'm not sure why we had him on.
I don't know why I allowed for him to be in this basement.
And this was after all the things came out.
right.
We
Oh, you guys brought him on after all the allegations.
Well, we were thinking,
which we did get a lot of
views on YouTube.
We're thinking, let's hear his part of the story. We want to hear. Turns out
He's a rapist.
same.
Yeah,
turns
he's a rapist
out,
piece of shit.
100%. Didn't he really deny it? Unfortunately, yeah.
It's like, yeah, whatever.
But that's
It's Hollywood.
it's the biz.
Yeah.
It's the biz.
It is a biz.
Happens.
Showbiz, you know. We haven't talked about it, but all the Kevin Spacey stuff coming out.
Did you watch that, Kevin? Did you watch that video?
I was so scared. I
my
felt like he was
God.
talking directly to me.
So did I. I felt very uneasy. He did his his
man.
House of Cards role.
It's the next level.
Frank
creepy.
Underwood. But he's in the camera, and this was the day he was indicted for rape in 2016 for some, or not rape. I'm sorry, sexual assault of.
He just made the video now though.
No, he made it the day of.
Oh yeah, the day. Yeah,
Yeah, he
and,
made it
and
the
he
day
just
it
and
was-
it just came out. Yeah, and it's fucking
Okay, what did he-
weird. It's him.
What did he
It's
It's just him being like, "Oh, you think you can stop me?"
No, he's in character. Oh, and he's like, well, and then he's talking about, he's like, you guys want me.
Yeah,
you
he's
want me.
yeah. Yeah, he's like, "You want it was."
But it's all in Frank
creepy.
Underwood character.
Yeah, it's in. It's
But
like
it
3
was-
minutes
But it's not
long.
for the show. It's like him at his house.
So it's not. It wasn't for the show.
No, it's like him at his
him in the
house.
house.
And it's
So
fucking.
what was his motive? What do you think his motive was?
He's a psycho.
Oh yeah, he's lost it. Now. He's
Like,
gone.
was he
He's
lost
done.
in his character? You know what I mean? Like a Heath Ledger type of thing, or
I
he's
still
always been
believe.
a-
I still believe he thinks he can come back.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
100%.
Well, if you look at past history with Hollywood, they do tend to.
He's not
They
coming
do
back.
tend to forgive, but I don't think on
He's
something
not-
like this.
he's not
I
going
don't
back.
think on something like that.
Especially where things
minor,
just keep
it's
coming out,
unexcusable.
and it was like a judge's son or something crazy that he. And there's videos of him now, like molesting kids and
Right.
people and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think he's
that's one of the
bouncing
videos.
back.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And
I
I'm
mean,
going to make a
Hollywood
stand
forgives.
right now.
Especially
He's not a
now.
fan of the show. He's not a friend of the
not-
show.
This
Never
is-
has been.
Never has
We
been.
don't
Never
claim-
actually came on either.
We
let's
don't
clarify.
claim.
We don't
Kevin-
affiliate.
We don't claim Kevin Spacey at all.
But this is probably the least
that
forgiving
Seven
time in
performance.
Hollywood, though. You know what I mean? This is probably the least forgiving time.
I'd say
in Hollywood.
100% it is.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
Oh.
if he was to have all that shit, this was the wrong time for all that shit to come out for him.
We're talking about Kevin Hart here. Made some tweets in 2009. He's not even allowed to do the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
well, he
Hollywood is
stepped
not
down from the
forgiving.
Oscars. He stepped down from the Oscars.
But it was because of
It
all
was
that,
because of that. Because ABC
I
gave him an
wouldn't-
alternative.
I
They
wouldn't
said,
have.
apologize or step
Yeah.
down, and he stepped down. It's just.
though. It's getting ridiculous.
He should.
It is
never have.
ridiculous, but you know what? We should embrace it as artists. Just don't check your social media. You should want negative attention. You should. I mean, not like that. Not like bad, but I mean, like people. I mean, people talk. No. But I mean,
Kevin
like,
Spacey
I'm gonna
is
go-
living it up right now. He's loving this.
Him and Bill Cosby are chilling.
He's
No.
like, there's
God,
no
yes.
such thing as bad publicity as they're sharing a cell together.
Yes.
It's like,
no.
boy, we're gonna bounce
Right.
back big time.
Yeah, they're probably sitting next to each other talking about how they're trending on Twitter.
Yeah. So go
So
out and
Mason's
do
all
really
for
bad
it.
things. No, that's not what
I'm
I
gonna
was saying.
delete
I
my
meant-
Twitter now. I'm gonna just before I, you know what?
There you
Before I get any sort of successful, I should go vet my social media.
Oh, I did it. I did all mine.
Did you?
Yeah, dude, because it's like, man, like I was 14 years old when Facebook came out.
Right. We all said.
I went back on 14 and I was like,
Okay.
I would go on my friend's wall and be like, hey, Adam, you dumb bitch, come over.
But no
But
one's
in
gonna.
today's society, I called my friend a bitch, and it's like, oh my god,
better.
I mean, that's a
better
dumb
than-
example, but you get what I'm saying.
better than
It's
saying
like I
faggot.
cleared fucking everything.
Yeah, I don't think
Oh
it
yeah,
was
I
a-
made some inappropriate jokes on Twitter too. Don't get me fucking wrong.
Yeah.
They were funny, and I didn't find them offensive, but some people do. So I just
Right.
wiped that whole shit clean because it's stupid. I mean, they're going back from 2009 on Kevin Hart, on
Right.
some jokes he made about his son in being gay. It's like, oh, okay, cry me a river.
Yeah.
Get over it.
We
Like, really,
definitely.
get over it. It's 10 years ago.
For instance, we took
One thing.
gay and fag out of our lyrics
you
like
have to
a
now,
couple
man.
years ago.
Only M can get away with that.
Yeah.
Shit. And not even now.
No, they censored
Kamikaze
it.
was on blast too.
And they actually censored faggot on.
They did
Kamikaze.
on his track. Yeah, on that. Yeah.
Which,
yeah,
you
but
know
you
what?
get uncensored version. I mean, you're not gonna stop Eminem.
Well, no.
You're not gonna stop-
The actual,
Yeah, but the
the
actual
one that's
one, right.
on
The
like the
explicit version.
explicit album on
Oh,
Apple
they-
Music.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
they
the
actually-
only word that isn't there.
Yep.
Yeah. Which, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing about it.
If
It
you
doesn't
did-
even need to be in music anymore. That word doesn't need to be anywhere anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I just, yeah.
so like that was.
I just think I think words are words, and I think people just make way too much out of them.
You're right.
I
They
really do. Because look, man, you could look at me and call me a fat fuck, and I go, all right. It doesn't
Well,
it doesn't really affect my day to day though. So I think words are words at the end of the day, and people need to calm the fuck down.
What's Gary's last name? Gary V. You know who
Oh
I'm talking about?
yeah. The super famous.
Yeah,
business
he was
guy.
talking about
Yeah,
that
he's great.
because somebody.
Great
Yeah, no, I
podcast,
love
too.
listening to his stuff, but
Crush It and Crushing It is 2 books.
I haven't read his books, but I've watched like
I read them both.
Crush
Great
It and
names.
Crush
Great
It.
names.
Oh, great.
But
real good.
Crushing
Real
it.
I've watched.
What's his third one gonna be? The crushiest.
The most crushy.
The crushiest. It just got crushier.
Just
Coming
when you
out
think it wouldn't
this
crush
fall.
anymore.
You just keep saying crush, it becomes a different word. It sounds
Right
weird.
when you thought it couldn't be any more crushy,
That's so crushy.
he comes out with this.
That's crush-worthy.
That's crush worthy. But yeah, no, he had the same thing. He's like, because some lady was like, but your daughter swears because you swear. He's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you're like, he was talking about his like language arts teacher. And he was like, yeah, no, she was like, your daughter is having difficulties with explicitives. And he was like, yeah, you also said that I wouldn't be successful back when I was in your language arts school. So fuckity fuck.
That's awesome.
Right. So yeah, it's crazy, man. The things that people give power to.
Yeah. But you know what? We live in such a great age. The best time to be alive is right now.
It's
that we like legitimately don't have I mean, majority of people have problems, obviously, but I'm not talking about life and death problems every single day here in the States.
True.
Where it's like, I mean, for millions of years of evolution, we've had things trying to kill us.
Yeah.
You know, we've had these big problems that we've tried to overcome. People don't have that.
Well, we'll wait for China to invade, and
We have
we'll go
equally
from there.
bad problems like not being able to find Wi-Fi and Starbucks getting your order wrong.
Okay, now that is true. Those two things are. Oh,
Yeah, it's hard to spell Mason right.
it is.
I'm sure they get that wrong a lot.
do
huh?
all
It's hard
the
to
time.
say
EN.
cash.
EN.
You tell someone
I'm
your
like,
name
why
is cash,
EN?
their head fucking explodes.
Please tell me that you've at least had somebody just put like a money sign on the cup.
I don't even give my real name anymore because you'll just get a million cash names. People call you Cash Money. I'm so sick of it.
Cash money.
Cash money. We used to call it cash money.
it's a
too.
curse,
I feel
trust
bad
me,
about
yeah.
that. Yeah. Looking back on that, I
You
called
should.
you cash
Oh, I've
money
never
a
stopped
lot.
thinking about it.
I know.
It keeps
You
me
still
up at
hate
night.
me to this
He's
day.
offended.
Sons of
Still playing in that.
He's offended.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah.
offended.
He's
extremely,
offended.
extremely offended.
Hashtag cash too.
I wish we could take like those offended things that we're offended by and cash them somewhere. I think everyone would be fucking rich.
For real money or
Yeah.
You went through the whole EP though.
I did. Yes.
Did you like it?
I did
What
like
did
it,
you think? What were
honestly,
your
man.
thoughts?
I did. Way more, a different vibe than I expected.
What did you
You're-
expect? That's funny.
Okay.
Oh, actually.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll tell you what I expected. How do I say this? With rap, because I'm not a huge rap fan, you know that.
You can offend me
But-
too. It's okay.
No, I know, because you're okay. But with rap, it's very like, you're just a lot more hardcore, but not hardcore as in like you're a gangster. I don't mean that. I mean hardcore as in like. I almost get a rock vibe, at least from this EP, dude.
There's a lot of rock,
I got a serious
of
rock vibe, like almost throughout the whole thing, and rock vibe also in your vocals as well, because you did more of. I felt like it was more, not raspy, a little bit more like. Yeah, just a little bit. Like, you're trying to get a little bit more out in that. I don't know, in a weird way, but yeah.
So you
basically,
expected more rap.
I expected a lot more rap. I expected it to be like. I'm trying to think of an artist that's white that's not Eminem, and I can't. So I'm really sorry. So I might have to
Any
use
artist?
some black guys. You know what?
any artist?
No, who's white?
Yeah, any artist of any genre.
No, just a rap. I mean, like a high key guy. I mean, Machine Gun. Who?
Macklemore.
I guess.
Well, I mean, you couldn't think of one.
Yeah. But yeah, Mac. Let's just go with Mac.
I could think of, what about Mac Miller?
He's dead, though.
I mean, you said you couldn't think of an artist.
That's true. Mac Miller. Okay, so but Mac, I guess Mac is more rap, isn't he? I don't listen. I've never listened to his music, so I can't make that determination.
Yes.
Macklemore I have listened to before.
Okay. So you just anticipated more just like linear.
Yeah. I guess just more like just beats.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot more like music orientated. Like I heard the music in the background, which I appreciate.
But that's
because it's like
that's one of my goals.
It's different than your traditional rap of today, I would suppose, where it's like a very catchy. Though, and I don't want to repeat the same thing that we talked about last time, but it's catchy. It's just a lot of these the money.
Oh, because we did talk about mumble rap last time.
Right, but it's not even necessarily mumble rap. I feel like even other rappers sometimes do that, where it's like they get in this mode where they just try to make the best song to sell, where it's not like you can actually dive deep and understand like what. That's why I'm huge on the lyrics thing. I'm gonna go back on it again because I love to understand the concept behind songs, behind music. You can't get that on rap that's like. Bro,
that means I gotta go back and like write out all of my lyrics. It's a lot of words.
That's crazy. So you don't in studio, like you just have all that.
They're all in different places. Some are on paper. Like most of them are in my phone.
That makes sense. So if you're an artist and you get inspired or whatever, you write it on a piece of paper one time for this, a phone for another time, a laptop for one.
But also, you have to understand that this EP is over the span of 3 years.
Right.
Like some of these songs are fucking old. You know what I mean? And so like for instance, track 2, Hear Me, the one with the guitar solo and everything, which was super rad because I use synthetic guitar for prior, because obviously I don't have access to a whole lot of live instruments. And so I do everything virtually, right? So it was virtual guitar. And then my dude just, like, not even the solo part, but the actual chugging part in the verses, he just went and just redid what I did just with real guitar. So it just sounded better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which was really cool. But that song...
so when you synth with like using for lack of a better word, an artificial guitar, do you hit like chords then? So it's like guitar C chord or G note, G string, that kind of stuff.
I still build the melodies and everything. So I have a keyboard and I have a drum machine. And then you just send
it over to him and he plays it, right? After you've already made the little guitar riff.
That's what we decided. Like that was something that just happened a drunk night. He was like these guitars kind of suck. And I was like, well, they're fake. And he was like,
they're not real.
And then he was like, well, I guess we'll just make them real. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of but for the most part, everything is, but he also has, if I ever want to recreate a sound at his place, he has, like I said, he has like Universal Studios worthy fake sounds.
Like Universal Studios, like Universal Studios?
like Jurassic Park.
Right, Jurassic Park?
Yes. Like, yes. Hold on, but before I stick my foot in my mouth and say something stupid.
Are you telling me you have raptor sounds?
Yes.
All right.
No, basically,
they're hard to make.
What I'm serious, legitimately me.
It's like
next EP, one raptor sound.
One raptor sound.
It can even be faintly in the background. That'd be sick though.
Perfect.
I'll catch it.
Before I make myself sound too stupid. He's been like hired to do soundtrack stuff for movies.
Oh, okay.
Is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
So like
he's done stuff for like Universal and stuff like that too.
Yeah. So like he has sounds that are worthy of like big motion pictures.
Okay.
So like I can always if I do like a shitty choir on my shit, I can use his almost like you would think that we brought an entire fucking choir into the studio and mic'd them up. You know what I mean? Like he has like just superb sounding samples of so you can lay out a choir. You could build,
and he'll let you use those samples.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's dope.
So I can take the alto part of a choir and the tenor part of a choir, and then I can add a sax, and then on top of that add trumpets, and then on top of that, and I could build myself an entire ensemble, and it would sound fucking real. So I'm able to use his
all of his equipment,
well.
all of his sounds.
Yeah, so we're able to make it sound real. But that song that he did guitar on, like I initially made the skeleton of that beat in 2015. Like the song starts with,
holy crap,
I made this beat in 2015.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
that's how the song starts.
It does start that way.
You know what I mean? And I like found it. I was working out one day, and for whatever reason, my internet wasn't working, and so I was just going through like the songs I actually have on my phone, and it came up, and I was like, whoa, this was actually fucking cool. And so I like took it and like rebuilt it with better sounding shit, and then like I didn't know where the lyrics were, and I wanted to keep parts of it, so I just knew which parts I wanted to keep from listening to it, and then I just wrote new ones in my phone. But I don't have, so like for instance, some of those lyrics I don't even have. They're like just non-existent. They were just there, and I just re-recorded them. I just knew them, you know what I mean?
Right,
because they were recorded
because you still
prior.
knew them. Yeah, because I remember a bar I wrote in 2011. I still know the whole thing.
From when we were,
Yeah, I still remember it. Still to this
Money,
day, it's
right?
so stupid. Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could
Sean
find those
Malone,
tracks. I wish I could. And who is?
Bro, I spit.
Yo,
Dude,
you don't even
I
understand.
will go acapella on this mic right now.
Do it.
Let's hear it.
Do it.
Okay, fine.
Whoa, we don't have fire exits or these fire beats.
We got that little window.
This place is not.
Let's get fucked up.
Hey.
I'm feeling high as hell.
Woo.
I'm telling random people what's up.
Woo.
She looking hella fly with that ass and red cup.
Yeah.
But I ain't wife the bitch unless you want a prenup.
Yeah.
Talking shit up in this club, telling you that's not my thing.
Thing.
But you see these people everywhere flashing their bling, like they
Bling.
fresh up in this bitch, like they ain't gotta worry, trying to get a hoe in a second, like they in a hurry.
Woo. Hurry.
Okay, I'll stop there. I'll stop there. I think that was 8, maybe, hopefully, or 4 or 2.
Started out like talk poetry, but then you.
That's
Then you
what
gotta
have
do
to
it.
There was no instrument, so you know I had to like poetry.
You
it,
picked
man.
it started out like slam poetry.
It did, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
These people are saying what's
like,
up.
you were gonna have a candle at the end. Yeah.
Man, you say what's up? I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the government or something.
Man.
No.
If you ever need a hype man, let me know.
Oh, I will for sure. Yeah, I will. I'll need that. We'll do the Akeem Peel thing. How they did the Obama and the translator.
What he really means. Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
All right, man. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I'm yeah. Overall, I'm glad you liked it. It was a lot of years of work finally put together. You know what's funny?
And your EP party's Friday, right?
It is.
This Friday.
It is. If you're not doing anything, Friday.
Besides work. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, because you
I
work
work the
nights
swing
now.
shift. Yep. Well, not now. It's been that way
Or,
for like 2
you're right.
years.
We
yeah.
talked about that though recently.
Which, I mean, I like the job. It's just the whole swing shift sucks because you don't get to do anything on Friday nights. So really, you get Saturday night. That's about it.
Well,
no one's doing shit on Sunday
yeah.
nights. You know.
I mean, that was the same thing with bartending. Was like every Friday and Saturday night. But yeah, no. The release party. I'm gonna do some tracks. I'm gonna do some real tracks, and then I'm also gonna do some hype tracks.
Yeah.
And
Hype tracks meaning.
like I'll do
Like-
the intro song prelude. You know what I mean? And like
But a hype track's like all the way through still, right?
Yeah, but I mean like I'll do also like Hear Me and No Holding Me
Right.
and like. Yeah, and we'll get fucking
okay.
wild.
Okay,
So
so
I'm
you're
gonna
just categorizing like the hype ones. Like,
sure.
Yeah,
Well,
I see
because
what you're
usually
saying
if I do a like if we're at like Paris Theater and we're performing, it's usually going to be mostly just hype tracks. But because this is just me and it's my
Right.
EP release, I'm gonna do some of the more realer tracks and slow it down for part of it and actually like have my mic on a mic stand.
Right,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's gonna get coffee shoppy for a sec.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll get you a bar stool and everything and sit on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
And people will just snap.
That's how the lead guys do it. They get tired,
Yeah.
you get a bar stool, right? And then you just kind of lean right on
Bar
the
stool.
and then it
been
makes it look
saving-
like
I
it's
love
artistic.
a good bar stool.
You
I'm
gotta
telling
love-
you right
oh,
now,
it's been saving
if
musicians
I ever
for
get
years.
enough balls to do stand up, I'm going to bring my own bar stool.
Really? See, that's a big thing in stand-up is what you bring onto the stage. Some people bring a jacket over the shoulder, a cigarette. Ron White does
Ron
a
White
drink.
cigar and
Drink. Whiskey or whatever.
It's really
he's
big,
drinking.
and you're gonna bring the stool. I bring
Just
the
a stool.
but
I just want to bring a stool.
but I would never sit in it. I'd put my water on it.
Also,
I
what,
lean on it, maybe.
Yeah, because
I'm pretty lazy.
It's weird to sit in a stand-up if you're like, this is too much for me. I can't.
also,
do it
what kind of
anymore.
writer are you signing where you get to smoke a cigar inside a venue?
That's his one clause. Yeah. That's what he says. Don't
think
pay
it
me,
is.
but just make sure I can
have a cigar.
light up. Yeah, make sure that's readily available.
Like
for me.
that's
throw fucking fire laws out the
Yeah, I
window.
felt like
Ron White needs to smoke his goddamn cigar.
I felt like we were past that.
He deserves it too, man.
He does, but I felt like
Why?
society was past that.
Because he earned it?
Yeah, hell yeah, he earned it.
He
earned that goddamn cigar. Just like Dave
deserve
Chappelle
this.
can walk in anywhere and smoke weed anywhere and no one cares. It's Dave Chappelle.
Like, you don't want to get roasted by David Chappelle. You don't want to be the guy, Mr. Chappelle, please. No,
I'd worship
no
the
smoking
man.
in the building. What did you say, motherfucker? Yeah, he just blows you up.
Like, come here, let me have a
Now,
roast
Ron
off
White
for
will probably just
He'll
hit you. He'll just hit you.
No, he would go, all right, kid. Take a drink right in front of you anyway. He don't give a fuck.
Just
He's
down
Ron
it with
White.
alcohol. Just,
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe he didn't get permission to smoke that
he's just
cigar on
one of those
stage. He just
guys
does
that's
it
just like,
anyway.
fuck it,
And what
I
are you
don't
going to
care.
say? What are you going to do? You're like,
No
well, we're
one-
not going to shut him down.
Yeah.
He's Ron White.
You're not gonna kick him out of the venue.
No.
Not when you're gonna make $50K on him, probably.
So-
each person.
He just gets to.
I'm glad. I'm glad we can talk about Ron White.
Also a big fan of the show.
Not
Keep
yet.
going on.
Hopefully a big fan.
Hopefully a big fan.
We've been trying to get Ron for a
Been
while
trying.
now.
It's
For
on our
some
to-do
reason,
list.
he's a lot harder to get to Drake.
It
and,
is. It's tough.
Ron.
Man. Well,
We're not
isn't-
because he's drunk most of the time, which is a
that true.
problem.
That is true. That's why Gideon's not here this week, is he's in LA trying to get LeBron on the show during break.
Yeah, and Gideon he's
Gideon might
camping
do it.
outside of his house. There's no prior. Yeah.
Nope.
He's stalking him. I mean,
But that's how we get people on.
Yeah.
We just stalk them.
That's just good
That's
journalism.
that's how we got you on. We just stalked you.
Just-
I literally just sat outside your house for 3 days.
we send
She
Wait,
said
death
something.
threats.
Yo, she said something about hearing some shit outside. She was super stressed out one night.
That was him. That was him.
Thought I caught a glimpse. I was scared.
God, this all makes so much sense.
It makes
now.
sense now.
I apologize for all the your
Mason
crazy
hides
talk.
out, but he's never actually ready to talk to anyone. Anyone comes out, he hides.
hiding.
So he's never really got anyone on the show before.
No.
He's just more of a camper. He's just like camping out.
Just
Yeah.
a stalker, yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I just showed up. I heard that there was proper 12, and I showed up.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
thoroughly disappointed.
You are properly disappointed.
Properly disappointed.
because that bottle
In 12 different ways.
We usually have Tito's on tap.
We do have Tito's.
We have Tito's?
Yeah, we have Tito's. I gotta
Whip
hit
it out.
Always.
We always have Tito's.
This is how podcasting works.
The half gal Tito's.
3 guys and liquor.
Yeah, it makes for great.
What do you-
Great.
Hey, what do you get when you get 3 guys together in a bottle of liquor?
A shitty podcast.
A shitty podcast. Yeah. A 2-hour long podcast.
2 hour long. It's longer than this
What is your
podcast.
longest podcast?
3 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's literally a half gallon.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't like going for those other ones because they're like, the fists are like $30. I'll just like, screw it. I'll get
enough.
a handle.
Fair enough.
So I don't have to deal with that for.
Are we?
This podcast is about as long as Mr. Nobody was.
It is right on the verge. Yeah.
I think Mr.
Right
Nobody was
there.
2 hours and some change.
Yeah, some change. Yeah. It's about 220.
Are we just taking it out of the bottle?
Yeah, no, dude. Listen.
you have a
when you came
straw?
over, you called me. You're like, "Hey, man, I'm here." I'm like, "Great, come downstairs. This is open house. Everything's open house. Alcohol's open. Everything's open, my dude. Like for real. Like, pour it, my friend.
Usually when I'm
Pour it in
entertaining
the,
people, I give them a glass. But
Oh yeah, that's true.
no, it's fine. We're already here.
Somewhere, I'm sure.
We're already here. We're already
I
here,
got a
Mason.
shotty. Lord of the Rings cup. It's always
We're already here.
You don't want to drink out of that though.
because
It's the one cup
It's the one cup to rule them all.
to rule them all.
No, that's what we drink proper 12 out of.
I had a 4-pack of Red Bull that I drank last night too. Otherwise,
4-pack,
mixed
you're
it with
getting
something.
wild.
well, yeah, I was.
No, I'm one of those people that are
Look.
too good for energy drinks, but not for obsessive alcoholism.
But it makes sense. A lot of people are that way. It's funny because people are like, "I'm gluten-free, vegan, all this stuff," and that's great if you want to live. Like, I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
that.
but 12
But
vodka-
then don't tell
vodka
me.
cranberries
yeah, but
later.
then don't go to the bar and drink 8 beers,
Yeah.
5 shots, and tell me that you're living your healthiest life. 'Cause
Also,
then
you
I'm like,
you got to be careful because if you're gluten free, you can't drink 99%
can't.
of beers, and also if you're vegan,
but my
you
friend,
also have to be careful about
But my
beer.
friend, you can drink that vodka gluten-free
Yeah.
because Tito's is gluten-free.
Most hard alcohol.
Bert Kreischer taught me that.
That's why Karen will
An
go to the bar and
alcoholic.
have
An
12
alcoholic trick of the trade.
is
An alcoholic trick of the trade.
Dude, that
Also
that
vodka.
machine
You
video
can't smell it.
God,
is
it's hilarious.
so fucking good.
It's so good. I got a picture with Bert. Me and him with our shirts off. It was awesome. It was fun.
If you're
Sounds
ever
really
around Bert,
gay,
no,
but
no.
it was just as gay as it
You guys
sounds.
kiss?
If you ever meet him,
You
you,
guys
have
open
to
mouth?
take your shirt off.
Together.
You open
We did
mouth kiss?
everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you meet Bert, you have to take
fun.
your shirt off.
You do. You actually
It's
do. It's
like
a
a
rule.
requirement.
And put it on him.
It's fun. Yeah, he wasn't dealing with that too well.
I just love that he actually walks out on stage with No shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Or he'll walk off, or he'll walk on stage as he's taking it off, and he'll swing it into the crowd, which has got to be pretty spendy after a while. That's $6 a show at least if you're buying a cheap Hanes shirt.
I'm sure he can afford $6 t-shirts. You do think after the show he's collecting it?
No, hold on.
Second thought, I'm gonna need that shirt back. I can't afford this.
No. Before the show,
I threw out too many shirts this week.
Backstage, he takes off his actual shirt and puts on a throwaway shirt.
Throwaway
shitty
shirt.
shirt.
He has.
That's what he does.
He
Yeah.
stocks up at Goodwill. And he takes off his Givenchy,
And he also has a plant in the audience where he throws that shirt, and it's someone he works for, and he just brings it right back to him. Yeah, and he brings it right back to him. But that guy acts like he's
That's
really
a hell
excited.
of a plant. That's a lot. That would actually cost more money to pay the plant. Than
No
it
one
would to
ever,
just buy
no
a
one
new
ever
shirt
accused of him
every
of being
time.
smart.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
Guy's an idiot.
God damn it, Bert.
Yeah, the guy's a moron.
Moron.
Okay.
Great friend of the show, though.
Oh, absolutely, comes on all the time.
All the time.
Love the guy.
He had a
Broadcast.
fucking TV show.
He did on Travel Channel. Yeah, for a while. Yep. God,
Bert the Conqueror. What a life, huh?
what a life.
R.I.P.
Yep.
He's
not dead.
You know?
He's not dead, just the Discovery or the Travel Channel show is.
Right. You know who did pass this last year, though, since we're New Year, I might as well bring it up. Ralphie May. May he rest in peace. That fat fuck.
But let's be honest.
Jesus Christ.
It was a waiting game. I mean,
No, it really was, man. I heard he got, pneumonia.
Oh, yeah.
Gone within like 24 hours. I was like, well, no, duh.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Guys,
when you're that big, you have zero immune system. Especially
anything goes wrong, you're dead.
I'm not sure, but he had to have been diabetic. I'm guessing, and pneumonia kills diabetic people all the time. But I have always figured he's got to lose weight sometime, right? And eventually, you get famous, you go through the weight loss.
Through the weight loss thing. That's what I was thinking. All those years, I'm like, eventually Ralphie's gonna figure it out,
and it'll still be
Eventually.
funny. But no,
Remind me who Ralphie May is?
He was the comedian
Original
who won. Yeah,
Last
the
Comic
original.
Standing.
Yeah, Last Comic Standing winner.
Real
Big in the
Super
South
funny.
too.
Oh yeah, that guy,
high pitched voice.
real
I remember
big
who you're
everywhere.
talking
Yeah, real big. Yeah, big guy.
Oh yeah, no, I watched a couple of things on YouTube actually like a few months back. He died?
Yeah, he passed away, man.
Fuck
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That was a
fucking-
while
And
ago.
Joey Diaz and him were good friends, so he was pretty.
Did he ever really like pop off after like recently, or did he kind of?
He was always good stand up.
Yeah, he was always good.
Never
He was
did
always
more than that.
consistent.
He
He
never
always-
jumped from TV shows or anything. I'm sure he was on shows, but I never saw him. Yeah, he was made famous from fucking Last Comic Standing, the first season.
Yeah, the very first one.
That's old. That's old school.
It's crazy. He was fucking funny though.
He was super
really
funny.
funny.
But come on, you can't be that big
You
and
can't.
expect.
I know. At some point, you got to go. Like I took a self reflection and I looked at myself in the mirror last night after getting back from Vegas.
Well, you did-
Mason, boy, have you let yourself go?
Well, John Goodman was huge. And
That's true.
And he made the
Yeah,
leap to
he
being
did.
skinny.
He
You
did.
either do that, you become Chris Farley, where you don't do it in time, or John Candy, where you don't get it in time. You gotta go through the weight loss.
You have to. It's
Yeah.
so
You seen
important.
Jonah Hill flexing lately?
Jonah Hill, he goes up and down,
This guy is like a fucking elevator. I mean, he never stops.
which I think might be just as unhealthy as
Yes.
Right.
staying fat.
Yeah.
But then he'll roll out in like a sweater vest and like AirPods, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I'm like your hip like
Yeah.
step brother." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just watched him on the Breakfast Club not too long ago promoting his new '90s movie.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
out now. I haven't seen
He
it.
was thin as I know. I want to see.
Which is
it
supposed
so
to be
bad.
fucking amazing.
I know.
He really built a career for himself.
He's a director now,
Yeah.
big time. Yeah, he's awesome.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, no, he really, you know, and that's awesome to see people like get a start with like something like, what was that movie? Superbad. You know what I mean?
God, one of the best movies ever.
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal. But
So-
it's, you know, it's stuck in a lane. Like that movie is like, you know, it's
Yep.
that stoner late night raunchy comedy.
Right.
But to see him go from that to like everything is accomplished is
Amazing.
amazing.
Well, we
man.
talk about it
Amazing.
all the time.
And he's a
but
great actor. Period.
comedy actors always make good drama actors.
Yeah, they do.
also, almost
Yeah.
always, and
Steve
good directors
Carell.
also. Yeah,
Steve Carell is incredible.
Steve Carell made the leap seamlessly. He's phenomenal. Actor.
He's in that new one with that his like the one about his son.
Yeah, you're talking. Well, two movies. He's in Vice, which is out now, which I cannot fucking
Steve
wait to see.
Carell is?
Yes, he is. He is playing. I forget.
I
but
did
he's in
not
it.
know
No,
that.
he's
That
in
got
the
a-
movie.
Dude,
I
I was
swear to
that
God.
got average reviews. Did you see
I
it?
know. I was shocked to see it. The cast is amazing.
I really wanted to see it.
Well,
too,
but
yeah.
how's the
Christian
writing?
Bale. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
well, it's got to be true. He lives the fuck.
That's true. And Dick Cheney was a fucking monster of a human
He's a
being.
psycho. Yeah. He shot people. He literally shot people and got away with it.
Hunting accident. Right, of course.
Hunting accident.
Yeah, hunting.
Did you see?
big fan of the show though. Dick Cheney is.
Hey, no,
that's one guy we don't claim.
I'm dead serious. Fuck you, dude.
We don't claim.
I'm good. I'm a pass on
I'm sure he is watching,
okay.
but we don't claim Dick Cheney.
No, dude, that guy. You want to talk about a real life vampire? That guy is. He had a heart transplant at what, 90 something or 80 something?
They say when he dies, he will still be alive. His heart will still be beating because he has a pacemaker or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like he can't die.
He can't. Yeah.
Dick fucking Cheney, huh?
Horrible, man.
Horrible.
You know what? Steve Carell's actually in 3 new movies then.
That Marlin one where he plays with the dolls.
Yep.
And then the one with his son.
Yeah. Oh, with Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, the son is...
Does he die or something?
No, he's a drug addict.
No, yeah.
He's an opioid user.
I forget what it was called.
I think it's called Son. Isn't
I
that
feel like
super
it's
simple?
Yeah, but I feel like this is not Son.
No, it's probably not.
But good reach though.
Thank you.
Mason Knight.
It's called like Good Boy or something, isn't it?
Good Boy. What, was he a fucking dog? Good Boy.
Yeah, I thought it was called.
But no, I think you're right. Actually,
it is something super
it's something
like
But Timothy
I'm looking at
Chalamet
it right now.
He's fucking amazing.
Oh, he's great.
You
He's
gotta
great.
see, yeah.
He's the unibrow
you never
kid, right?
reviewed.
We never saw it, but
or what was that called? Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name, but no.
Yeah.
But we did because fucking Michael.
I want to review that movie. That was so fun. I have never talked to a guy more uncomfortable in my life about homosexuality.
Have you ever seen Call Me by Your Name? It's a movie about 2 gay people.
Yeah.
One's it's in like Spain or something, aren't they? France.
It's set in Spain. It's actually based on a book.
But one of our old
Beautiful
podcasters.
Boy.
Beautiful Boy.
But
Good
Son,
Boy. Whatever.
I think Good Boy is a movie about a dog.
It is. It most certainly is. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, fuck. Mason, did I tell you that me and Carissa are working on a 4-song EP?
No, I did not.
Yes.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
For real.
For real.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like early stages, or what's going on here?
All 4 instrumentals are complete, and we have we're probably halfway through the writing process because one of them's 3/4 of the way, one of them's half, one of them's still pretty early. But it's actually coming along super nicely,
Nice.
and it actually it's cool. Her soulful sound mixed with my kind of rockish rap actually goes together pretty fucking flawlessly. So
you got a great voice. You really do.
She really does. Yeah.
And I wish I had 2 computers so I could set up a 4th mic. I feel really bad that you're sitting over there now.
We have a live audience today.
Yeah, we have a live audience.
First live audience
ever in the studio.
Crowds
today.
going
This is really good for the live studio audience.
Calm down, everyone. Calm down.
Everyone, just take it easy.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
We're gonna get trouble. Sound is too loud. Yeah, your neighbors are gonna be going crazy. Yeah.
You do have the window open.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's something that we're looking forward to. We're gonna start getting into the recording process of that.
So when did you guys initially, or when did this initially become a thing where you guys were like, hey, let's make some music together?
Well, it started with Rockaway, right? Because I asked you to do the intro part for Rockaway, and then I think we were just fucking around, weren't we? Yeah. And I just, I was fooling around with some virtual instruments. And we kind of stumbled upon something, and it just kind of, and then we were like, what if?
Yeah.
And then once we did 1, we were like, what if we did 3?
There you go.
4?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it just kind of built from there. So it's cool. It's gonna be. Can I tell them what it's called? Yeah. Is that cool? It's gonna be called Backbone, and it's gonna be us going through a self-healing phase. It's going from being blind and unaware to the destructive situations we're in, and then accepting that we're broken people, and then putting ourselves back together.
Okay.
So it's so it's cool because we're able to touch on, I'm able to touch on my heartbreak from the past, and she's able to touch on her heartbreak from the past, and then it's about rebuilding ourselves,
right,
and then coming together. So it's actually it's pretty cool.
You want to pull that mic a little closer? There we go.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you're audible.
We haven't gotten any of that the last 2 hours.
Nope, we didn't get any.
Can we
of it.
redo the whole
Let's
thing?
we can redo. I got
redo everything. Yeah. That was a mic check. Okay, mics are looking good. Okay, yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're about to start. Yeah. Are we good?
That's awesome. But yeah, no, so that'll be cool. Working on that, and then also I'm gonna do another project called the Vibesmith series or the Vibesmith sessions. The Vibesmith sessions, and I'm gonna do like.
Hold on, are you saying Vibe Smith?
Vibesmith.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Smith of vibes.
Right. That's what I was getting at.
It's like this like nickname that I coined some time in the last 8 months. But no, I was gonna do like these sessions, and I was gonna do like volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, and me and Matt are gonna do all the production, but I might not necessarily be on every track. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring in like a bunch of other people and like have this like session project of like all the local artists.
That's pretty dope, though.
Yeah.
So like a collab, essentially.
Yeah,
Is
like
that
a
what
big
you're
old
talking
compilation.
about? Yeah.
Album, and I want to do like
We Are the World. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I had to say it. It's just it's too on the nose. It's too fun. It's too fun. A giant compilation of artists.
right, but yeah,
I don't think he means like a chorus, like all in one.
like
was
we're
the
all
joke.
gonna
I'm just
like
being-
we're all gonna sing at the same time.
all 30 of us are gonna get it.
just-
We are
yeah,
the
it's-
world
yeah.
for Africa.
It's
That's what they was for.
Oh yeah,
Africa.
yeah.
This is
You
gonna be
remember
one
that.
big choir
No,
project.
I don't. It
What
was
a
for the
piece of
AIDS
shit.
relief, wasn't it?
Yeah, for Africa.
For Africa, yeah.
Man, obviously you didn't donate.
The only
Piece of shit.
Fine Coney.
got me red-handed. I
You
did
listen
not.
to the song, but you
I did
didn't.
donate to Coney though. That bastard in 2012 got me. No, I was pissed.
I don't think it went
to.
to
That
Coney.
guy. That guy made
Like,
it.
did it?
If anything,
Did it?
It might have.
if anything, he might be stronger than ever because of it. He might be stronger.
He's literally abducted 4 times the amount of kids now, thanks to all the U.S. dollars.
Coney's like, I'm a fucking
We shouldn't
superstar.
have. We shouldn't have relied on the psychopath, a guy who was mentally unstable. We put a lot of children's lives into one man's hands, and the pressure got to him. He snapped. Remember, he was running naked through San Francisco.
He was screaming through the
he
streets
lost it,
naked.
yeah.
and no one gave a shit after that. They said, "Okay, kids being abducted. This guy's a psycho. We don't care."
He was
anymore."
running around naked, but didn't he have a toy lightsaber in his hand? I almost remember that.
He had something in his hand.
He
think it was a
completely
toy
lost
lightsaber.
it, and then nothing after that.
No, nothing.
Coney
No.
done. He's thriving.
I
now.
unfortunately
Coney
shared the video.
That was when we were in high school. That was
It was senior year.
Man, we're all gonna go to the march.
And put the flyers up. Wait, did you get the? You got the care package? Or like
we were.
What I'm
sent you
talking
the
about.
box.
I was just schmuck who bought that. That motherfucker got my money, dude. I was pissed. I was
We
buying
were
a
pumped.
$15 box of like flyers and shit.
And
to
stickers.
Go.
Remember they
A
released.
lanyard or
Remember they
whatever they
released
gave me, I
that
don't fucking
video
remember.
and like Mumford and Sons had a song, and
yeah.
everyone was like, "Fuck yeah!"
we all shared it.
We're all in on this. You know?
We all shared it. We all shared the video. We are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
fuck
We're
yeah,
like,
dude.
this
I was
has
like,
to
this is-
stop.
Yeah, it has
He made
to.
so much money. You know what's funny though?
I wonder where that guy is now. Probably dead.
Probably.
I thought he was like trying to do another campaign. Like he still has his like company, like his campaign.
He's got to have a shit ton of money. I mean, where'd that money go?
I don't know.
Most of it went to his fucking pocket.
Probably.
Like he did good, but he didn't do that good.
I just thought he snapped. I thought the money was going, but then like it just. I mean, could we not get a replacement? Or
I know.
something?
Could we get someone else to run this
It
thing?
literally died with that guy.
Well,
Like,
okay, but here's the thing: is that like, this one person was dragging him through the mud and like bringing up everything wrong with the Fine Coney thing, which obviously was a lot. But good intentions aside, there was a lot of shit wrong with that entire campaign. And one thing that he brought up, he was like, yeah, so like there's Coney. But then there's blah blah blah. There's blah blah blah. There's so and so, and there's this guy. He names
Right.
off like 10
Other ones that are
warlords.
just as bad as them,
And you're like,
or
yeah,
as him.
where's Fine this guy? Where's Fine this? Like
we gotta get him one at a time. We can't do the bundle of.
But
we
thought-
gotta.
we thought
We're still
we were
working on Coney.
solving-
That's what I was gonna
are.
say. If we don't focus on one guy, it becomes the best game of hide and seek.
We're
Osama
7
bin
years
Laden.
later. We're still working on him. We're gonna get him.
We
will.
thought
His
Eventually.
child army is growing.
It's growing exponentially. Yes, it is. But we were trying to monitor that situation.
I think they did end up sending like 100 soldiers or something. I think we remember. Yeah, it was just like a slap in the face. Like send one guy over there and he'll train some.
Look,
people.
we got one retired SEAL that's gonna go
and
like
he'll
Rambo
yell at
on
you
it.
for a couple months, and you'll get nothing out of it, and then he'll be gone.
But we thought we were resolving,
and that cost us 4.8 million.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
We thought we were resolving human trafficking in Africa.
I
Like,
swear,
we thought we were
human
healing the
here.
whole nation.
I swear we could have got him. I thought we were close. We had him been this close.
But that's the thing too, is we thought that
he
once
can't
that
be that hard to
happens,
find. He's got an army.
just look for like a lot of heat signatures.
Look for a lot of little tiny heat signatures.
Little dots on the map. Yeah.
Look for
a fuck ton of children. That's probably
4'8" dots.
Yeah, they're yeah.
But no, we thought once we found Coney, like over, like done, like Africa is fucking solved.
And we're
like,
so ignorant
hey,
because Africa's like fucking 200 times bigger than the United States.
America
like,
did our part.
It's
You're
fucking
welcome.
wild.
I shared the Facebook video. We solved Africa. Like no worries. You're welcome. Like we were that ignorant about it. Us seniors at Kelso High School.
Bro, we thought we were going to change the world.
Yeah.
Wait, at least we're gonna change
Yeah,
Africa.
at least
the world,
Africa.
I mean, whatever.
God, it was a start. We could at least.
You had your $15 care packages.
But
of
let's be
stickers
honest.
and
Let's be
flyers.
honest. That fucking guy, he didn't want to find Coney. The guy running that thing.
No.
He finds Coney. His charity's done.
Yeah, his money's out.
He's got to keep milking that. We don't have any evidence anyone was looking for Coney.
Well,
I didn't hear there was CIA on it. I didn't hear
I don't
anything.
even know if that was his actual name, if he was a real individual.
Just
No,
it's a
he's
Google
a real
image
guy.
picture. They just Google image like African soldier. Yeah. This looks convincing.
Make a shitty 2-minute YouTube video, get $50 million in donations.
Yo, but no,
Hey,
but
they
that
even
wasn't.
fooled Mumford & Sons, so we all got
Yeah, I
fooled.
know, we all
Okay,
got
if you're
fooled.
fooling them,
Once they were involved.
if you're fooling the Sons, we're all.
But
good.
that was just one of his campaigns though. Like that guy has like his company, I forget what the company's name is. That was just their successful campaign.
Well, I wish we would have gotten him. That's
he's-
all I can say. Coney, not a friend of the show.
Not a friend of the show.
Not a friend.
Not a friend of the
You guys
show.
don't want to bring Coney on here? Have a connect.
If we could maybe trick him,
I almost
let's
wanna
be
ask
honest, it
how,
would give
but
us
I'm not
big
going to.
number.
Yeah, it would give us huge numbers. Especially to all those kids who graduated in 2012 across the state.
And all the kids in his army.
They'd be so
and
stoked.
and the army
We'd
kids
get at
too.
least
Yeah,
a
we
million
would, yeah.
views.
They'd be so stoked that it finally like came to fruition. Like, oh, I knew sharing that video would
Oh my
have
god.
worked.
How crazy is that going to be in like some down the road 2033, just a random news thing. Famous Coney from 2012 dead in Africa. Just died of old age. We're gonna be like 20 years later. We'll be like, oh, what the fuck? I remember that guy.
No, we're gonna all be like, "Fuck yeah, we got him.
Got him.
We got that son of a bitch."
Yeah.
Died of natural causes in his mansion.
Yeah, guarded by
Cabana.
4 million child army. We got that fucker, guys. We won. And the guy in San Francisco on his pile of money, he's gonna be, we did it.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it. Fuck that
Coney
guy.
2012.
What is that guy's name?
Coney.
No.
Tony Coney.
I'm not sure if he has a last name.
I hope not. I hope it's just Coney. Son of a bitch.
I mean the guy that put the campaign together, but
I don't know. That guy's a fucking prick. Though.
I wanted to look into him. I wanted to see what he's up to now.
I want to see a documentary on that guy. That'd be interesting.
That would be an
There
interesting.
hasn't been a
thing.
documentary on. I literally haven't heard anything from Coney about Coney since.
No, neither have I. That's
like,
why it's crazy
did
that
he-
this
yeah.
randomly came up. Like,
No, there was that like there was that 15-minute video that I watched that was like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
where
Great
is
video.
well, that was closer to a half an hour. That was like a 32.
No, not the original Coney one.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about there was one about the guy.
Oh,
That's where I'm getting part of my information from. Is that like this is like I think semi-recent. Somebody was like, hey, remember this fucking guy? Here's everything that was wrong with him and his whole
shit.
Coney
So
thing.
there's like a big story out there.
No, it's not big.
Well, I mean, yeah, not
But
that big. I mean, more of like a side story.
I found
like,
it through the
"Ha,
rabbit
funny
hole of
news."
YouTube. Yeah, some guy
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
hey, remember this fucking thing that you guys got all duped into? And then it brought out statistics.
And I hate when people do that. I'm like, yeah, I do remember. Why you keep reminding me?
There was a video
Give him attitude back.
There was a
online,
video
but
of him
yeah.
running around naked.
Oh yeah, no,
I know, I saw
it
that,
outlined that in that video. But no, it also gave out statistics like of the X amount of millions of people that got their care packages, only 15% actually did the blackout.
Most charities, you got to really check your charities out
Yeah.
because, like,
No, I mean of like the Mason Knights that got their flyers
Right,
and
they got their
stickers,
stickers
only like
and their
15%
Oh, never even really got
actually
there.
went out the day and put up flyers.
What was in the care package, Mason? And why were they not sent to kids in Africa?
I remember stickers, flyers.
Not even a Find Coney T-shirt.
Man,
No,
you know
there was Coney shit. There was like
that might be
lanyards
worth
and
some
stuff. I
money.
don't
If
know.
you kept that might be worth some money someday.
Dude,
that was
think
a
about it.
huge thing.
It was a fad too, and
That was a
that's
huge
got to be a
thing,
limited
yeah.
edition too.
Oh yeah, if you had a Coney shirt
about how
now,
many-
that'd be retro shit. People would love it.
Well, think about how many Coney things came out, and then how many people dispensed
Oh,
of
yes.
those Coney
Yeah.
things. There's probably not very many.
They erased
left
it from the
in
fucking
world.
history books. There's
Yeah.
no
trace to
reference.
this, man.
I'm telling you,
Never
I've
existed.
never,
The United States single most
I've
embarrassing
never
thing
heard
we
of
know
no.
for.
Coney never existed.
Africa doesn't talk about Coney anymore. No one talks about Coney.
Because there was supposed to be, when you guys got your little care packages, there was supposed
Hey,
to
I
be,
never got a care package.
Okay,
Okay,
wait,
yeah,
over
make
here.
sure it's clear.
when Mason
I
got
claimed
his
Mason's
lanyard,
as my own, but I did not.
there was supposed to be one night, the Coney blackout night, where everybody went out at midnight and posted all the flyers everywhere.
But it was like the night he got caught. It was like the night before or whatever. Because we never made it to that night because everyone was gonna do it.
Was that after you got naked?
Yeah, we were all.
That
gonna
was
do
like
it.
days.
Were you guys
days-
actually gonna go?
Oh, for sure,
fuck
dude.
yeah.
A reason as a 17, 18-year-old to go drive
yeah.
to Portland and cause problems as a kid.
Fair enough.
Hang
Yeah,
up
thanks
signs.
Antifa. You guys. So he
yeah.
started Antifa with the Find Coney movement.
I went during the Wall Street movement. I
I
went
like that conspiracy
Plot
theory.
twist.
I don't know if there's any merit to it whatsoever.
There's not,
but I
but
like that idea.
thank you.
And I'm actually looking the guy up right now. So.
Perfect.
John Prendergast?
Predator. Yeah, he looks like a dick. He looks like a youth pastor.
He probably was.
What did you just show me in his picture? Can you give me some information on it?
No, I don't.
Where can I find
Here's
it?
a
just wanted to
headshot.
show you
I want
the
my money
picture.
back.
That's it. Sorry.
I gotta take a shot to Coney.
Oh yeah, shout him out. He could be dead for all we know.
Coney.
probably
Is
is
Coney a
dead.
friend of the show?
No, absolutely not.
No, we made it clear he's not.
Not a friend of this show.
Never been on and never will be.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope not.
What do you mean? Like
We'll
he
see.
forces himself
No,
on?
I mean, let's hope he's dead.
Oh, he's not though. We know he's not.
Where is he?
I mean, he's an astronaut.
He's gonna die of natural
If
causes.
I knew that
Is he?
information,
Well, that's what I'm saying. But do we know that?
we know there'd be fucking mourning. His army would be. I mean, he dies though. Let's be honest. It's not gonna be over.
He's in South America with Pac.
No, because there's 500 million other people to take his spot.
Build one other one's. Yeah.
That's the thing. There's like the whole place is divided by warlords.
Yeah.
Like
What was his army called? The Lord's Army or something. It was like the LOR or something.
Yeah.
The children of the Lord's Army or something. It's some weird long thing, but it's like
Some-
he had
no-
like 1 million kids.
yeah.
He was just grabbing
So-
up schools of kids.
So the way that I
How do you
justify
feed an army that big?
You don't.
Oh, okay.
No, they're starving.
They starve
They're
and they
fucking
fight each other.
Yeah,
and
you
That's true.
you
yeah.
find your own food.
Survival of the
like
yeah,
good
you
luck.
kill other. You have to
That's
kill other.
dark.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's why it's so hard to fight those armies, is because no one
not
wants to
over there.
shoot a
It's
kid.
So
So,
is Coney self-aware, or is he in like the religious delusion of like, I'm doing this for God? and
you
it's
mean
my
does
mission?
Coney know there was a huge movement about it in
Movement.
2012? Do you think he knew at all?
that he was famous? Somebody
Yeah.
brought him an iPhone and was like,
Well, that was worldwide though. That was not just in the United
No, you're right.
States. That was world. Everyone was talking about it because it wasn't in the United States. It was.
well, the care packages were in like London and shit
It was,
too.
yeah. It was global.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
It was just a guy
But
started
was
it in America.
Was the blackout thing global?
Yeah,
I thought it was everywhere. Yeah, but
because I think London participated more than the U.S. did in the actual night, the blackout night.
probably because we said fuck that.
But I
after we
mean,
heard
They're
that
better
guy.
people.
But I
over
mean,
there,
what do
I
you
think.
think Coney thinks of his mission?
What do you mean? He thinks he believes he is God's soldier.
And so,
Coney does.
and
he also loves power.
what's that? What's his end game though? What is he going for?
Have as much power as possible. That's it. He's.
Yeah, that's it.
It might have
Some people
started
like
out.
power.
It might have started out as a righteous religion thing, but now it's just
It's just having control.
Yeah,
It's just
of
some
everything,
people
yeah.
like that fucking
Every
power
aspect.
shit, dude.
Everyone
They love
loves it.
Oh my.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, but they're.
We can say we don't-
No, yeah, you're
Well,
right.
yeah.
Everyone
Obviously,
likes
there's people
to-
that have like
there's
an
a hierarchy.
unquenchable
Yeah,
thirst for
But
it.
there are some like other levels of like, ooh, okay.
I think power
They're
would corrupt
psychopaths.
most of us.
That's what psychopaths just want power over everyone else, which is Coney. And he fucking wants. He has an age limit for his army. He doesn't want them old.
Nope.
Get them young.
Is that so that they don't revolt?
I don't know.
Well, think about it. If you get, I mean, like,
Also,
that we're going dark here, but think about it. If you get a kid at 4 or 5 years old, you can literally, and I do not suggest this. But you can, I mean, but if
Don't
you're
try this at
Cody-
home, but
right.
here we go.
If
But
you're
if
listening,
you-
taking notes right now, stop.
Stop it right now. You stop. But if you're, if you're the guy 4 or 5 years old, you mend that child's brain. That thing will do whatever you want. Now, take
You're
a
right.
22-year-old man, try to torture him, and try to get him to be more loyal to you.
No, but
and
you
that's a
said
pretty
you
obvious
said you
statement,
don't
but it's
want.
like,
Yeah, it's not only
That's
that, but
why.
it is that. It's a part of that, but it's even the darkest thing possible is they know that no one wants to hurt kids. So they'll take these kids and use them as shields because they know that no one, it's the most fucked up thing,
That's
but
even
they know
darker too, man.
that's the dark,
mean-
they know that kids, and you can get these kids to, I mean, if it's all they know, I mean, that's all
Well,
they
look at
can
the
do.
Middle East. Same thing was happening in the Middle East that they were using kids and women for bombings and
Yeah,
things like that
suicide
because of the
bombs,
same
stuff like
thing.
that, yeah.
So, but then what?
And they got little hands, easy to get them in little places.
Yeah.
They make the ultimate soldier.
They do. They really do. They're the best kind.
Yeah, they don't need a lot of food.
If I had to choose an army,
ton of
it would be a
energy.
child army.
Ton of
Yes.
energy.
So what is he gonna do when they grow up?
Oh, they make him. He probably makes some generals, or I'm guessing the age of like living is not high in the child army. I'm guessing 18 is probably
19,
full grown. Yeah, that's
I need
probably
a
like.
thorough hierarchy of Coney's army.
I'm sure there's not a real system to it. Like,
But I think with the
sure
child-
there's
What
not-
if he's super organized?
There's not
What if he
tiers,
is
probably.
stupidly organized? What if they're over there like have
Oh,
their
no,
own
yeah.
agriculture and like?
If they were, we'd be able to find them easier. They're scattered.
Hey, do you guys see all of this?
There's got to be some form
Farm
of
to land.
hierarchy. If he's got a million kids, there's got to be
He's
some.
You gotta
the
do
leader.
something.
Yeah, but there's got to be some form.
Well,
they
he-
don't just all line up and he's like, "Hey, listen, a million people."
No, but he goes. He
Today we're gonna have
follows
breakfast.
the general. Like
Right.
he's the general of the army, and
Yeah,
then it
of
goes to
course, yeah. But
lieutenant
there's-
and whatever,
So
and then
what-
like top.
So there
kid,
are kids.
Do they go to war or do they just kidnap more kids?
They just kill villages. I think. They don't,
Yeah, they just
no one really.
decimate
Is this
villages.
just
Yeah,
genocide?
I don't know
like
why.
mass genocide? Like his only thing is like, hey, I'm just gonna amass children while we
amass
just
power,
burn
yeah.
everything else.
And then he will
I think he's like
eventually.
the modern day Genghis Khan.
Where does he live? The Congo? Is that what it is? Or
Allegedly.
Yeah, I think so.
It was the
yeah.
Congo,
was
wasn't it?
Congos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he just wants to be in charge of the Congo with the child army.
Okay, like
And then in
have
charge of
it.
Africa,
Can't we just like give him the title and like
King of Congo.
We can give him like chancellor. of
chill?
Congo?
It means nothing. But
Prime
you
Minister,
give him
like,
a
look,
sash.
we acknowledge you.
It carries no power.
Look,
but we'll give it to
But
you.
it looks good.
We'll bring him into the UN meetings. Like, can we just acknowledge him so he chills out?
Let's give him the table in the back where no one can
Exactly.
see him. Yeah, right.
Look,
right.
you can sit in the back of the UN meetings. You can wear your sash. You can have a translator. Just fucking stop taking kids.
It's just
think
like the Idris Elba movie. Remember where he's the?
Yeah.
I mean,
children. Or no, what's that called?
it's
the
like
was a great
diamond one.
movie.
Talk about the diamond one.
No.
No, not
No
Blood
country
Diamond.
for.
Oh,
No, not No Country.
Not
No,
Country for
no
Old
country
Men.
for old
No
men.
children. What's the name?
I know what
Children-
you're talking about.
Not Children of God. What is that?
Man, I don't know. I
Oh,
can't.
Beast of No Nation.
Beast
There
of
you
No
go,
Nation,
Beast of No Nation. Yeah.
But yeah, it's exactly that. That movie does a great job of showing where like how they become, because they kill their family and then sometimes they make them kill their own
Right,
family.
yeah.
And that's the whole thing of breaking them, then building them, and then making them.
Yeah. Once
Where
you
they
kill your own
love-
family, what else?
Well, and that's the most fucked up thing about the whole thing is you get a kid young enough, you screw them up, they may actually think that they love you. It's almost like a Stockholm syndrome.
Oh, they do. They absolutely.
I
Those
think that's
kids
actually
do love him,
I think
because
that-
these are
I think
the
that's his
people.
goal.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that showed them love or showing them love or after they're
He's
he's
feeding them, taking care
Yeah.
of them, quote unquote.
Yeah.
you
So
know
he's
what I
basically
mean?
a father to all of
Yep.
these children in their eyes.
Beast of No Nation was a fucking.
That is
movie.
terrifying.
Yeah, it was.
I remember at the end he's
very
fucking
end?
molesting the Idris Elba. It just got worse and worse.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Poor Africa. I'm sorry.
and here we are podcasting about it.
Yeah.
I know, right? First world problems.
Send us money for it. We'll try to fix it. Just send us loose money.
We'll send you a package. That says,
We'll give you a lanyard and some stickers.
Mason still has his Coney package. We could forward that along. We could just write over 2019 instead of 2012.
there we go. People buy it.
People still need to find him.
They do. Still relevant.
Jesus.
Yeah, all right. We should end it. Let's end it with the
let's end
Coney
it with
talk.
that.
We're gonna end
Which
it with
we end
Coney.
every podcast with a long tyrant of Africa and what we think about it,
Right.
what's going on, leaders. That's how we end every podcast.
All right.
World news.
Prelude EP is available everywhere.
There you go.
I just feel ignorant now pitching my
No, that's the point of a
music.
podcast. You're supposed to pitch it at the end.
It's hard to follow Coney though.
Africa's struggling.
It's tough.
Even we could have talked about that at the beginning, but it's a hard way to finish a podcast. I'm gonna tell you that. It's a somber look at the world.
Listen to good music and be a decent human. Listen to my EP. It's everywhere except Apple Music because Apple Music's late to the game. They'll be there. Other than that, thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, thanks for being on.
Like everything.
Yeah, that was great. When you guys get your stuff together, come on. That'd be awesome to have you guys on.
Yeah.
You guys can drop it and all that. That'd be cool.
Well, yeah, we'll come back on once we get that project all
sweet
ready.
And then do you do any solo work?
Starting to.
Nice, awesome,
Have one in the works.
Good,
Entire project. So.
cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Have you seen it? Instagram
and watch
have you seen
Mr.
it?
Nobody. I guess we
Yeah,
all
watch Mr.
enjoyed it.
You know what?
Did we enjoy?
Why don't we just give us? Let's just do a quick rating.
Yeah, out of
You wanna do a
100.
quick one?
Yeah, go
sure.
ahead.
Out of 100,
you go first. Go ahead.
Me first. Yeah. This was a fun sci-fi movie. I think the acting was great. Getting right back to business. Here we go. I'm just listing off a few things. Just goddamn.
Snapping back.
Yeah, overall, I really did enjoy this movie. It's rewatchable for me too because there's so many elements of it that are just so cool. For me, 86.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm with you where I think it tries to be deeper than it really is, but it definitely makes you ask some questions that you probably don't want to ask. And at the very end, it's a very simple concept. It's all about, taking your chance or whatever and choosing your path and all that. But it's beautifully shot, like really well. It's really well done movie, even if the concept doesn't really get it for you. But it's really, really well done. I will say 83. Which is pretty good.
That's very good for you.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna give it.
Don't give it 100. Just don't.
No,
That's
no,
the
no.
one thing you can do.
No, because it's not without its flaws. But I agree on the shot composition. The shot composition was
That's really. It looks really good.
it visually it's really good, especially for what 2009.
Yeah,
2000,
a decade ago.
Yeah, like
We can
it's
say that now.
so. I would say the coloring and the shot composition and the concepts were all super impressive for 2009. And so I think I'm gonna bump it up to a 90, just because I'm still thinking about it often. It gets those extra points because it's I've spiraled numerous times over it, you know what I mean, and gone into my own like self-reflection. And so if a movie can get me to like internalize possible alternatives to reality and such, and can cause me to kind of second guess my own decision making and things like that. If something can fuck me up like that,
Right.
it gets extra points.
I totally
I'm gonna
agree.
go with 90 because I'm still thinking about it.
And it is.
That's awesome because that's like the first time on a podcast episode I haven't been the highest score.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's good.
It definitely is a
taking that
movie.
spot.
It definitely is a movie that makes you think.
It does.
If you
lot.
like the movies that you can just kind of sit down and kind of shut your brain off, this is not one of them. You got to be kind of in the right mindset
And that's
for
funny.
sure.
That's funny because
You
I
can't-
turned it off.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in the right mindset. And I
It's
was
one of
like,
those
I'm not
movies
gonna
where you
get
can't
this.
just kind of put it in the background. You got to be there for it, and it's a long movie, and that's a lot to ask for most 90% of moviegoers.
Yeah.
They can't handle sitting.
When we're still here a decade later
Yeah,
talking about it.
Yeah.
And I think that deserves, being noted.
It does.
Is that, hey, it's stood the test of time.
All right. Alrighty. Have you seen it? Instagram, have you seen it? You guys can follow us on YouTube, HYSI. I'll look at that one.
We should be doing a
it's
best
like 104
of
or something. Yeah, we'll
coming
be
up.
doing
We're
a
gonna
best
be best of
Oh, yeah, best of the year.
2019.
Yeah, we do that every year. That's right. That's coming up.
January 1st.
So, yeah, January 1st, Ryan Reed, EP.
2019.
I won't announce the party in case you don't want randos there. And that's
Come to my party. I don't give a shit.
Cool.
It's at
Okay.
Shanahan's
Yeah,
Whiskey Infirmary in downtown Vancouver. It's a cool little whiskey library. And I'm going to be there doing all of the music things and tearing the place down layer by layer until we are all in a big pit of demolished flames. And yeah.
You know what? Sounds like a plan. So everyone be there Friday. All right.
Sounds
Till
like you
next
better
time.
check his insurance.
Not mine.